I'm Maz.
And I'm Natalie. Welcome to the Stride Sisters podcast. On today's episode, I'm joined by a special guest for the second part of the happiest two-part special. Maz and I cover the 10K, half marathon, and Medal Monday with all the shenanigans after the races and do a practically perfect post-race debrief. I Dumbo Double Dare you to say that 10 times fast. So, lace up your shoes and step into the magic with us. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another week of the Stride Sisters podcast. Training has been very much focused on sculpt and soar. Sculpt and I am very, very, very sore. It's been going well. I'm trying to challenge myself to up the weights, do things out of my comfort zone. I am also getting some running in, which has been good. I honestly feel like after like the Monday, Tuesday, 1-2 punch of different legs, different targeted leg muscle workouts, that I kind of need to run on Wednesdays so that I don't just like shrivel up. Having a relatively sedentary job. So yeah, that's how things are going there. But things are going really well. We had gorgeous weather up here in the Midwest this past week. So, it gets to a certain temperature and people are sunbathing. It's like it's spring, but without the pollen. It's great. And, I think by Thursday it's going to be cold again, but it's okay. It's kind of, I like to look at it as like a little treat to get you through the rest of the winter. It's kind of like going on vacation, right? Where you have a couple days of like really, really nice weather. And it's like, okay, I can stomach the rest of this winter because I did get that like boost of the sun shining, the warmth, the loveliness. That's how I like to look at stuff. In terms of updates, I actually just found out this past week that I was selected to be a Bib Boards ambassador. So there'll be a code in the show notes, and I'm really, really excited about this. I had my bib boards for the Chicago Marathon. I've used them definitely before, but those were American Cancer Society ones. And through everything I went through in that race, they kept my little nameplate on. So I'm really excited about that. I've ordered some Stride Sisters ones. So that's it. That's also kind of exciting. In terms of things, you can use code NBO runs to save 20% off your next order. Again, link will be in the show notes. Additionally, in terms of things I've ordered with Stride Sisters on, I teased last week my stickers. So I ordered some new stickers, but I ordered a bunch of different styles with the logo on there. It's going to be almost like a game to find me at Princess. Okay, so I'm just going to have a handful. There's 4 different designs, and it'll just kind of be what I have that day of what you get. So I'm excited, though. They turned out really cool because I couldn't really decide if I wanted to keep the hollow or if I wanted to do something different. And I wanted to do something a little bit different with some different styles. So got to make sure I have them in my little pouch every single race. But I'm excited to pass them out. I'm excited to see people, and I'm excited that Princess is so close. Speaking of which, it is 9 days until Princess Half Marathon Weekend 2026. You have made it through peak week. You've made it through taper, and it is smooth sailing from here. Unless you haven't downloaded your PhotoPass photos from last year. you should go do that. My Valentine from me to you is that, and make sure you do download them. Princess is earlier. It was earlier last year than it is this year. So your pictures will start expiring soon. So if you're an annual pass holder who hasn't downloaded them, we have 58 days until Springtime Surprise Weekend 2026. And your ADRs will have occurred. So hopefully you got something that you want and you have really good availability for all of your dining reservations. We have 247 days until Wine and Dine Half Marathon Weekend 2026. Proof of time deadline is June 1st of 2026, and I will eventually get the shirt deadline. As you can tell, I didn't register, but I'll kind of talk a little bit about registration and such later. As my opinion, from afar. We have 323 days until Marathon Weekend 2027. Club Run Disney registration is on March 10th. And general registration is 1 month away from day of release on March 17th. I think I'm betting that we get themes in 2 weeks, so March 3rd. That's what I'm betting. So I'm going to talk about Wine and Dine registration. I did not register for anything. Again, like I mentioned, I said I was waffling over last week. I am going to wait until the results of the New York City Marathon and see if I got into that before I make any kind of a move on that. Obviously general registration has passed, so it seems special. I'll have to either seek a Discord or Telegram opening or decide to go for a charity bib. I'm going to figure that out a little bit more over the summer, what my plans are going forward. But, I got into I had a lot of meetings and stuff that morning as well. So I feel like I was catching up in things on spurts. But it seems like, things did, even with that extended 5K registration, that things did sell out pretty quickly. The 5K wasn't the first thing to go. It was the 10K. And it seems like they have removed the queue sharing feature. So you used to have a queue ID at the bottom of your page as you were like, thank you for joining. And that's gone. So no more queue sharing. And there was that new cool looking loading page that they had up. That was while you were waiting for even the queue to open, as well as while you were waiting to see your little status bar to move. That looked pretty. Again, I was a bystander, so I don't really have a whole lot to comment back on. Just that if you were a little bit disappointed by the results of that, there are a lot of amazing charity organizations that are able to, that you could fundraise for. And definitely, usually there are openings periodically throughout the summer and throughout spring and summer. You could join the Discord servers, or sometimes it's they have one big, couple hour long opening. So hope is not all lost quite yet for getting into Wine and Dine if you had your heart set on it, especially with those themes. And I will be in the pits seeking probably. I mean, it's such a small chance you get into New York City that I probably will be in the pit seeking bibs, but who knows? That sounds like a way for me to go to be getting an entry in a couple weeks, but I don't know. Frozen Ever After has reopened at Epcot with the new animatronics. They look really awesome from the couple little clips that I've seen. So it is ready for Princess Half Marathon Weekend. Yay. Now, speaking of Princess Half Marathon Weekend, there was a small event guide update. And by a small one, I mean that we finally do have the yoga transportation times. So that's super exciting. I knew they would drop them eventually. And I'm going to link the event guide in the show notes again. Probably we'll just leave it in next week as well, just for reference. I made this screenshot real small, so I need to actually zoom in on it. Okay. There is a wonderful graphic in the event guide for you, but I will list off your transportation. There are 11 different routes for this, and Route 1 is going to be all of the All-Stars. Looks like your pickup time is 3:30 in the morning for movies and sports, but then 3:35 at music. Route 2 is for Animal Kingdom Lodge and then Animal Kingdom Village, both Kidani and Jambo. Looks like AKL is 3:30 in the morning for pickup and 3:35 if you're at Kidani. Coronado Springs, it says all bus stops, 3:30 in the morning. Route 4 is for the Polynesian, Shades of Green, the Grand Flow. And for the Poly, it's 3:30 pickup, Shades of Green at the main entrance. It's 3:35 a.m. And at the Grand Flow, it's 3:40 a.m. Route number 5 is Fort Wilderness, Wilderness Lodge, and the Contemporary. At Fort Wilderness, your pickup is at 3:30 in the morning. At Wilderness Lodge, it's at 3:40 in the morning. And then at the Contemporary, it's also at 3:30 a.m. Port Orleans, both sides are on the same route for Route 6. At French Quarter, your pickup's at 3:30. At Riverside, it's at 3:35. Route 7 is Old Key West in Saratoga Springs. So Hospitality House pickup at Old Key West is at 3:30, and the Springs bus stop at Saratoga is also at 3:30. Route 8 is Caribbean Beach and Riviera. So all bus stops for Caribbean Beach, and pickups at 3:30 for both of them. Route 9 is the Swan, Dolphin, and Swan Reserve. So the Swans pickup is at 3:30 in the morning. The Dolphins is at 3:35 a.m. and the Swan Reserves is at 3:40 a.m. Route 10, it is Yacht, Beach, and Boardwalk. So Yacht Club, your pickup is at 3:30 a.m. Beach Club, your pickup is at 3:35 a.m. And the Boardwalk, it's at 3:40 a.m. And the final route, route number 11, is for Art of Animation and Pop Century, and your pickups are at 3:30 a.m. And note, I said just one time for each of these pickups, so that means that is it. That is the sole pickup if you are using Disney transportation, so I would recommend being about 10-15 minutes early for it so that to ensure that you get on it and get on the bus. And have a great yoga. Hopefully it's dry this year. Time for a fun fact. On this day in 1963, comedian actor Larry the Cable Guy is born Daniel Lawrence Whitney in, drumroll please, Pawnee City, Nebraska. Woohoo! Larry the Cable Guy was Mater in Cars and, reprised the roles as well as throughout the sequels. And then he also voiced it for Cars Land in Mater's Junkyard Jamboree. Super exciting. I know that I knew that Larry the Cable Guy was from Nebraska, but it's one of those little fun facts, like those little nuggets that you're like, oh, I forgot about that. And then you remember. So we are on to the main show. I am so happy to welcome back Maz for a little chitty chat. And by little chitty chat, I mean a nice long chitty chat, if you've noticed the episode length at this point. And talking and waxing poetically about Disneyland. Welcome back to those of you who made it.
To those of you who survived to another listen.
Indeed, in this great grand world we live in. Yes. I guess I'm going like old school. I'll just even MGM it here. Not even old school attractions, but just MGM attractions. It's time for, we're doing a sequel by popular demand.
It's true.
But the sequel's never quite as good. So
we're off to a great start.
As per usual.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe I was in bed last we spoke. Oh man. All right. Great. Man, I'm gonna secret sound this, or I might just leave it. I don't know. It depends how I'm feeling.
50-50. So, when we last left off, you were snoozing away before 10K day.
Indeed. And then I rose up because it was Willy time.
Our boy Willy.
Where'd my steamboat go? Steamboat Will. Well, actually, it was a Sorcerer Mickey 10K.
Okay, stop teasing us.
I made it a Steamboat Willie 10K because actually, in terms of doing a sequel backed by popular demand, I did Sorcerer Mickey at the Disneyland 10K on the Welcome Back weekend.
Yes.
So I was like, well, I actually have all the costume pieces for this. But I was like, you know what I haven't done in a long time? My boy Willy.
We love Willy.
Even better because we got some Willy facts later.
Yeah, let's go. All right, so what time did you wake up for your 10K?
I think about 2:45, but this is going to shock you how late I left my hotel. My selfie in the lobby was at 3:59 a.m.
Are you kidding me?
That's showbiz, baby. That's Disneyland, baby.
If I were to have put money on that, I would have lost everything. No way would I have guessed that you would have left that late.
I believe that the parking lot didn't even open or security didn't open until 3:30 anyway. It might.
Wow.
I believe it was 3:30. And I know that, so at Disneyland, when at this point you're out into the parking lot for your starts, they don't have characters in that area. I didn't have a bus to catch. I just had my own two little feetsies to rely upon. And there's not as much going on, which I think is almost a benefit, to be honest with you, because especially me being on East Coast time, or not East Coast, I mean Midwest time. That was like waking up at 4:45 for me to wake up at 2:45. So I was like, this is pretty dang good. It's great, actually. And it's beneficial. And it kind of feels like you're sleeping in, because if you don't wake up till 3, then it's like, oh, well, it's like 5. It's not as bad. Or if you are on the East Coast, like, oh, that's like 6. That is sleeping in.
That's like a full night of sleep.
Exactly. It took me about 20 minutes to get there. And that means get through security as well, because at 4:22 a.m. did I take a picture of the finish line.
Wow.
In the parking lot past security.
Wow. That's impressive.
And that's even considering that Disneyland security, which extends to the races, is the whole, like, we're going to check every bag type of thing. For the races, they're a little bit, I don't want to call it more lax, but in terms of, like, they did not have me take off my little belt bag. They didn't have me do that. That was a piece of feedback that they got. And so it is more of it's not the walk through and if you beep, you get checked. It's the different type of security. So and then like the finish line isn't like that close, because I think I walked past my corral literally into the parking lot, and then like I had to go somewhere to get to the finish line. So I was there by 4:22 a.m.
Wow. And what time did the race start?
5 a.m.
Okay. So you were great. You had so much cushion time. So
much time for activities. I did go kind of wander around the reunion lot, because something they have done is they have some cute photo ops. They have just a little bit more going on. They do have some photo pass in the reunion lot after the race, and which is great. Some of the lines were still a little bit long, but I did see some friends. A lot of people were dressed up like brooms, and
that's fun.
Like, the Fantasia of it all. So good. People had buckets and a mop. Not that, but it was fantastic.
I love that. That's so fun.
Out of my little itty bitty heart dreams. Let me tell you, when they bring up some Fantasmic up in here, I'm a happy camper.
Yes. Anything Phantasmic is always a win.
So I get into my corral at 4:42 a.m.
Amazing.
So something that's, again, nice about Disneyland races is I asked before the half just to double check how much time I had. Or maybe it was this. I think it was before the half, actually, how much time I had. Just when I needed to be back in be back in the corral. And they're like, yeah, by like 4:50. Yeah, that's not what happens at Walt Disney World. Mm-mm.
Nope. No, you try to get into a corral 10 minutes before the race starts and they're laughing at you at Disney World.
Now you can, it's just not going to be yours because we have the published corral closing times now. So it's just not, not for what I was in, because I was in B for both of these races. So my bib said bib.
That's my favorite.
Not only does it make me happy because it's just B, like line B. It just is, I don't know, it's like a testament to the work that I've done too, because at Halloween half in the fall, it was the first time I had ever been in B corral for a like seated half. And this was the lowest bib number I've ever had in like a seated race. So I was like 209 XX. I know you can't steal my bib at this point. I just don't remember what the last two digits are off the top of my head because I was so focused on like I've been like 2-1 and even something low, but I've never been 209 even, or like 20 anything. So that was really exciting for me.
Yeah, that's amazing.
All like giddy and jittery and so excited with this, and it was great. Now there's a big old like screen at your start line.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say this is a Corral B opinion is that, oh yeah, audio and stuff was great. I heard a little bit further back because what Disneyland does is they line you up. So it's A right behind it, B right behind it, C right behind it, D, etc., all the way down to, I believe it was G for the 10K, and then I know it was I for the half. So they're all in a line.
That's kind of nice.
And I think so. And your whole wave goes at once. So your whole corral, and they wait about 5 minutes between.
That's really nice. That's a good system.
It is a good system if the further up you are.
Okay, that's fair.
You know, like it's versus if you are an I kind of a little nervy about that, you get a little less buffer. To be fair, I like it as a system because Walt Disney World used to do the highway starts, which that is my hot take. Again, I've said this before. I want the highway start back.
Okay.
My printer just agreed as it made a little beeping sound.
Your little droid back there.
Honestly, yes. And I miss the highway start because they also lined you up. They would put the other corrals like kind of. They couldn't fit them all in, like, because otherwise that was really long, at least when I last did it. But I miss the highway start. They had you in a line. It was a lot harder for you to, like, lose, kind of like you could hold the line better because you were all just walking up. And yes, someone could wiggle, whatever. But it was less when you make a turn. You didn't make a turn that way.
Yeah.
I missed the highway start. And apparently back in the day that when they had a lot more smaller corrals, they would just go, okay, corral N, it's time for you to start. Boom. And then you would go. So
yeah,
I didn't do Run Disney in those days, but I'm kind of hoping that can kind of come back. I don't mind the waved starts, but it is kind of comical when it's like, this is wave 12 of C.
I feel like for me, having always been in the later corrals when I was running, it made it feel like you were waiting for so long. Mm-hmm. Because you would find out like, okay, they're releasing B and you're in D. And then 20 minutes later, they're still releasing B. And you're like, okay, am I going to start in the next hour? This feels like it's taking forever.
Yeah. I think back to the Princess 10K we did in 2020. And I want to say you were in D, I was in E, and I was the back of E because I had no idea what was going on whatsoever.
We didn't know.
No, we had no thoughts, just vibes.
Yep.
And I want to say I didn't start, and the races started at 5:30 at the time. I think I started at 6:20 in the morning.
No, I believe that. I fully believe that. Because I know I was towards the back of my corral. I'll have to look at some point to see what pictures I took because I remember thinking it felt like it took forever.
So we get the race started, and unfortunately, because I was toward the back of B, unfortunately there was a little bit of a medical incident at the front of B, like kind of right across the start line, like not like 100 yards. Reports from the person who fell's spouse say that he was okay. It's just some of the meds he was on just made him dizzy and fall. So what I didn't know until 5 miles into the race was that after that they delayed for 10 minutes. So I was off.
Oh, wow.
I was out. And there's a lot more things that make sense to me now that I think about this. And it's like, wow. So there's a lot of things that make sense to me. And because I remember at one point looking and like expecting, I knew I had like a lead on the balloons. This is jumping ahead a little bit. I had about a 10-minute, I had like a good mile lead on them. But I was like, wow, I just don't see them coming. Because there is a vantage point where you can see around when they would be hitting the 5K mark when you're in line for the castle picture. And I was
perfect.
like, oh, that's interesting. And then I was talking to somebody later on in the race and they're like, and that's when like, oh, they held. I was like, are they just wild? Because at Halloween for the 10K, they were just wild. And I think that it was like, ended up being about like a 17-minute average. So
whoa,
I don't remember if there was any kind of an incident of sorts then, or I don't think there was. I think it was just like, oh, they're just a little more lax here. No rules.
I mean,
the rules, but no rules.
Right. It's kind of fun.
In a delightful way. But the way that you start, you head out from the parking lot and then you go on to Catella. And then the first, you end up backstage behind Pixar Pier. And then the first place you go into is Cars Land. So you are welcomed to Radiator Springs.
That's so cool.
So freaking cool. And you run in like by Radiator Springs racers. So especially in the fall, that was down for refurb. So it was kind of neat. It was like, oh, this is the closest I can get to Radiator Springs racers right now. As they're like kind of teetling like hee hee hee. It's so good. They had Lightning McQueen out. So I did wait for that picture. I think I waited like maybe 10 minutes. It was not bad at all.
That's not bad at all.
Again, it was one of those lines where they look worse than they are. And then you run toward Pixar Pier. You run along Pixar Pier. You smell the barbecue as is wont to do. And hit mile 2 near Goofy's Sky School. Kind of keep running along, and then you can get a picture in front of Mickey's Wheel of Death, which, although it's Mickey's Wheel of Death, like, it's a pretty dank picture.
It's a very cool photo op.
This is where I make a critical error after this. I need to potty. No. I need to tinkle.
Oh, no.
Just a tinkle. So I tinkle, and at this point, I had actually gotten... so I do sometimes... when we get the leaks of characters, but like sometimes it's just fast people who then go type in like Remy at blank,
right?
Carl at blank. And it was very funny because during the 5K, the person who did it, like I think got like 6th or something. So they were whipping and they still were like the typos in there. I'm not mocking the typos. I honestly respect the hustle.
Oh yeah. And like the typos are like part of it where you look back and it's like, a garbled word and you're like, I know exactly what you're talking about. Wonderful. I can't wait.
It was so good. So at this point, I know that Wanda is out in Avengers Campus.
Oh.
So I use the restroom because obviously you're using a real potty when you can. And, I'm like cooking toward Avengers Campus. you make your loop around. You're like kind of like where the entrance to the Grand Californian is. We're soaring over now California again.
Mm-hmm.
It is, you're like whipping into Avengers Campus. I'm like, Mommy Wanda. Would you like to know who was out when I got there?
Oh no, who?
Well, not Wanda.
Who?
Loki was out.
Okay, but not Wanda.
Yes, they had two in like kind of two different spots. One like closer to where like the Quinjet is, one like a little bit more above the gift shop. But I did get Agatha.
Okay, that's solid.
So at this point I'm like, Wanda, no. And I asked the cast member who's there, I'm like, hey, any chance, do you know when Wanda's coming back out? And he goes, oh my God, she just went back in. She just went in like a couple minutes ago.
No, you were so close.
I was so close. And then he remarks, I'm like, oh no. And I was like, and you know that like, she's not going to be out today, right? And like, like during the walk around, he's like, I guess she's more of a backup character for like a walk around the parks character.
Interesting.
It's like when other ones, I forget what the phrasing was, like the terminology, which is like kind of her vibe in a general. Like not
right.
that she's a backup, but just like she appears when she wants to.
Devastating.
But then he's like, honestly, I was not expecting to see Agatha this morning. I've never seen her before.
I have literally never seen her before, like even online.
Right? If I was going to miss Wanda for something, it being Agatha all along, that's okay.
That's honestly the best possible outcome if you had to miss her. But oh man, your white whale still lives.
Yes, I couldn't get all my challenges, but there's a happier ending at the end of this.
Okay.
I was like, dang, if I had waited to pee until after Avengers Campus, I probably could have gotten both.
You could have. Oh.
They did say a couple minutes, so like I wasn't sure. Like the thing is, like at Disneyland, like they're not as used to the Run Disney people in a way. Like this is fifth event back, so I feel like they probably were being genuine about that. They weren't just being like the Disney speak of like Remy's just around the corner,
right?
Remember that? I looked right at that line, which was for the rats, and I heard the cast member go, he's around the corner. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe you entered the queue for this around the corner. Okay. No. Just went
straight past it.
No, it's the cutesy way to say he's on break right now.
Mm-hmm.
From the Race for the Taste in 2022. It's fine.
Well, I was going to guess 22.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so I do believe the cast member, because I feel like they usually don't like lie, but like it's not like the cutesy like, oh, like no, I do believe
right
he meant that. But yeah, so if I was gonna miss Wanda for anything, it was it being Agatha. I know she kind of mocked me, which it made me feel good inside actually, because then the cast member he was like, well, like Agatha and Wanda can't really be out at the same time. I'm like, no, I get it. That beef, like grade A beef.
That's good.
I am looking at my pictures of me. I did, Loki was pretty cool too. And like, again, like the actors that they find that like are incredibly similar looking.
It's kind of insane. Like, I don't know.
I believe like, there's probably plenty of budding young actors, especially in like near Hollywood, that are like, but still like, it's kind of unbelievable. And I know but makeup can only do so much.
Right. At some point, your like facial structure and bone structure has to have a certain like amount of a match for it to work as well as it does.
Exactly.
It's kind of remarkable. Or maybe they're just growing them in a lab.
Oh, true. Oh man, what conspiracy can we start with that? No, that's where they grow them in Goofy Sky School. That's why there's always downtime on that one.
That's it. When there's downtime, a new one is hatching.
They've warmed them in the old Primeval World mouse coaster.
Great. Let's make this take off.
Great. Mousetrap, just, call me for the referral.
Yeah. So
then we run. we exit DCA and then head across the Esplanade, which there are spectators allowed, and that's awesome, toward Main Street, USA, run into Disneyland Park. I took a picture in front of the train station because one of my favorite pictures from Halloween with the 10K is right in front of it, and I was like, okay, big old Mickey, like, flowers, me, Steamboat Willie, duh.
Perfect.
And it was so funny because the people who I was like, I always do, like, I'll take a picture for you, like, I'll take yours, and if you can take mine too. But they had, like, the one gal had my phone, and her, the dude she was running with, actually, no, the dude she was running with was taking my picture, and she was, like, lighting up with, like, her phone flashlight so that my face was lit. I'm like, this is girlhood.
Love
this
that.
This is girlhood. That's
like some sisterhood solidarity.
Then mile 3 is, like, right on Main Street. And so 3.1 is a little bit further down, but you run down Main Street. And it is interesting that it's very hype because, you're in the park, but it's because there's not spectators allowed on their Main Street. Their Main Street's smaller.
Right. It makes sense.
It needs space for, like, the runners to come through.
Right.
And it's like, but I love my trips down Main Street with the spectators in Walt Disney World, but I also kind of like them without in Disneyland. So, like, again, like, I know that it's, like, the most, like, what do you like better? Like, I know it's the most ice cold take whatsoever of, like, well, there's things that are different about them both, but that's how I feel. Okay. That's why people go coast to coast. Okay.
Right. They're each offering you something different. And it makes sense.
Exactly. So, if you had to guess, actually, as we're getting to the halfway point of the 10K, what song might be playing throughout the parks?
If you're telling me it's something from Fantasmic.
There was some Fantasmic, but it is like an IP, and, like, just know that this is about imagination and stuff. Like, what would you guess?
Figment?
Yes. They played so much Figment during this race. I was dying laughing. And I thought it was, like, going to be more of a DCA thing because I was like, this is hilarious that they're playing Figment.
Yeah.
Like imagination, because this is not this coast.
Right.
Exactly, like, one cast member was bopping along to it that I saw on the course, which also made me die laughing.
Do you think everyone else was like, what is this?
I was laughing so hard because it was so funny. Because, like, some were, like, kind of, like, waving their little thing, like, oh, we'll go this way. And there's the one who was, like, vibing, like, imagination.
Yeah.
They had, like, I feel like 3 songs on the shuffle, and it's just so much Figment. I was dying laughing. It was so funny because it was out of, like, that's an Epcot IP.
Right.
It was so good, though.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
I was just, I could not help but just laugh.
Yeah.
With how much Figment it was. So I get along, I get to the mile marker, the timing mat at 3.1, and then you head into Adventureland, and then you run along, you go behind Hungry Bear, and then I come across, well, you run near Tom Sawyer's Island, and I know that we on the East Coast don't know her anymore. Correct. And it's cool because they had that, they, like, really, really bop out with the projections and stuff. So for the 5K, which we talked about last week, they had, like, the memory orbs and stuff like that. And it wasn't, like, all along Main Street. For this, it was, like, kind of like the Sorcerer Mickey and, like, kind of like just, like, that motif all across, like, Tom Sawyer Island.
Oh, that's so cool.
Because I could see the Mark Twain riverboat from where I was, but I knew we'd come along there in the next mile. I'll put a pin in that for now.
A little teaser.
We go backstage behind Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and I come across my first Willie fact. And let me tell you how excited I was to see Willie facts, especially dressed as Steamboat Willie.
Yeah.
I only took a picture of one of them, apparently, but it was Walt Disney himself provided Mickey's voice in Steamboat Willie.
Good Willie fact.
So that's one of the things about Disneyland, too, with some of the ways that they really kind of zhuzh up the theming in a way. And Walt Disney World, I feel like, especially for Marathon Weekend this year, the Spacey 5K was out of this world.
Eee.
I didn't even want to make the joke, but I had to, because the Star Wars music, the like special effects lights, it was so good. That's just kind of how Disneyland does it with the production value.
Oh man.
Like that first 10K back was all ducks. All the characters were ducks. They had Huey, Dewey, Louie. They had Uncle Scrooge. They had Darkwing. They had Chicken Little. Like they had all kinds of ducks. So like, and they had duck facts everywhere.
That's
it's
incredible.
So cute. I love the way that they do that, and they kind of just commit to the bit. So that's with the Willie facts, which was funny again, because this was not about Steamboat Willie. This was about Sorcerer Mickey. Thank you. So we run along backstage. We go into Galaxy's Edge. Then we run past Big Thunder Mountain, and then it's kind of like coming up to mile 4. And I kind of see an opportunity to like take a picture, and you do have to go off course like a teeny bit. Not like, you know, it would be going toward like the part of the course you've already completed, to be honest with you. And I kind of like wait for somebody to be like kind of like standing to the side, because I'm like, I have the perfect photo op of the Mark Twain riverboat. I'm Steamboat Willie. And guess who?
You need that.
Pilots the boat in Fantasmic. Right. Me.
That's all you.
And I get somebody who understands the assignment.
Yes.
She's like, oh yeah, I'm just waiting for my friend to catch up anyway. I'm like, perfect. Shout out to whoever you are, girl, because the pictures turned out amazing. And I was absolutely geeked. Like you could see it in my smile, just like how excited I am, because like this is like my little dream. I love Fantasmic. I'm a Fantasmic honk. And I'm dressed as Steamboat Willie in front of the boat. Like what else could be better?
That's everything.
Absolutely obsessed. Then I'm not quite at mile 4 yet, because they start the line in the shooting arcade in Frontierland for the castle shot.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It looks, again, the line, they've gotten a lot better about this, because there's, I think, 4 or 5 spots where they can take pictures of you kind of like similarly to Walt Disney World, except for there you get into your little subline already. And then anyway, but it like looks worse than it is. Like I'm walking in this like line to pass mile 4. And just kind of vibing with the people around me. And again, I'm at this point where I would be able to see the balloons coming had they not been held, now that I know. But I'm like thinking, I should. I was like, I keep seeing there's a lot of people coming still. I'm like, maybe they just held them back a little bit. I don't know. Because I'm like, I should see them. Like I have a mile lead, but like I really should be seeing them at this point. Get my castle photo. Go on my merry way toward Tomorrowland, because at this point I'm excited. I'm very excited, because I know what's coming up in Fantasyland, because it's a character quest.
Oh.
So I'm like zooming through, because I'm not Wandaing this again in the same race. Merlin is out.
No way.
Merlin is out. And do you want to know what my official quest was for Marathon Weekend?
Yeah.
It was characters from Robin Hood or Merlin.
Wow.
I haven't seen Merlin since I saw him during the infamous Half of a Half in 2024. And that is the only other time I have seen Merlin. And that was a super bongo long line. So I didn't even think about it.
That's crazy.
It was incredible. So he was selfie only. So okay. I took a selfie with Merlin. I'm not sure either of us are actually looking at the right time, but it's okay. It was close enough. That was like a live send to my boss to complete the quest. I was so geeked, because again, I knew he would be there, because at that point I gotten the fast hole list.
Right.
And I also got some really great shots behind, like near the backside of the castle, to where like it's funny, because some other girlies and I, who are like also like kind of crowned girlies, were leapfrogging each other.
Oh, fun.
For a little bit. Because then it was just kind of like, oh, like I'll take pictures of you, you take pictures of me. And it was great. I have some, again, amazing shots of me behind the castle. And there's literally no one behind me, because it's like blocked off, because this is the one race you don't run through the castle during. And for Disneyland.
That's amazing.
You can see other people like through the castle, but they're completely empty shots behind.
Wow. I mean, that's magical in itself.
Oh, yeah. And, I'm like posing with my little wheel and just living. Then we go into Galaxy's Edge and then end up backstage. And what they have in the backstage areas at Disneyland is not only do we have the third shift custodial, which everybody is like, they are a hype team. They are a hype team. Love. But they have little like kind of photo props set up for, they have parade floats out usually. So I think it was 5K day. They had Mac for Paint the Night out.
Oh, fun.
But they have little like kind of like photo like backdrop things out. So there's like this like witchy like cauldron and stuff like that. And then the next day they had a Small World thing. So it was kind of cool. Again, I'm like leapfrogging the same ladies who are super nice. And it was funny because at the time I didn't catch their names, but then I saw them post in like the Crown group were both in. I'm like, oh hey, we're like, we should have gotten a picture together because we kept seeing each other.
Yeah, that's funny.
And then you go into Toontown. I don't remember Toontown.
Oh yeah.
There were still, characters and stuff out, but I just really wanted a picture in front of the fountain.
Yes.
Got some good ones in front of the Runaway Railway, Then you exit Toontown near It's a Small World. Again, still closed. At this point, after you exit near Small World, you're kind of done with the park part, but you're well past mile 5. Like you have about a mile left. You are backstage though. So this is around where I meet up with a friend, Tiff. And it's great because like, I feel like we are always like ships passing through the night in a lot of ways. And then I got to meet up with some other wonderful ladies who I have had like mutual follows with or like kind of know of, but like have not actually had a chance to meet in person. So it was lovely to meet some of them and some of their crew.
Oh, that's perfect.
Talked the whole rest of the race. There's this like, being backstage is still, it's still amazing. There's like, obviously there's stuff back there. There's stuff to look at. There is like these little, and this is more like these little like kind of like Bugs Life little like statuettes and stuff like that are still back there. From when they had Bugs Land over at California Adventure. There's, they had more Willy facts along the way. And, but I was just kind of chatting and like seeing people, and it's like funny because like, but it was an amazing like finish to the mileage, and, it was able to cross the finish line with friends too. And like, I just loved it. It was everything that this race was like meant to be. And like, why, I always say that the Disneyland 10K is the creme de la creme of a Disney course. They pack so much park into it. And even the non-park part is still fun and amazing. I then went into the parking lot, was kind of hanging around the people that I was with. I was able to spend a little bit of time with Steph from Tomorrowland Productions too. And like, there was a big mushroom contingent that I loved seeing because I feel like I saw a couple of them on course. And, I heard the final finisher for the 10K come in because like whenever they do like the big music change, because at Halloween in the fall for the 10K, they did Go the Distance. I'm like, you guys are effing rude because I'm out here like, ooh. And it was like it was, I don't want to say somber because it was like joyful, but it was very like, right in the feels. Like your feel is even like a little exposed to the cold. Like it's going to get you.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
It was lovely though. It was great. I love the Disneyland 10K. It is so good. And then the kids races, the children's were starting to arrive because the kids races start, I think by like about 9 in the morning. They kind of finish line area is like mostly closed by 8. So I didn't stay because again, it would be weird because I didn't know people well enough who had, but the area looked really cute set up. They had games. They had
that's fun.
Each of them are set up. I'm really hoping someday we get them back at Walt Disney World.
Yeah, that would be so nice.
Like I need my Diaper Dash to Dopey story. Like I really do. So bad. And also it's like just wholesome and cute. And I know it used to be at ESPN World of Sports on the Saturday too. So I don't know what like logistical things maybe that might be preventing that, but like I'm hoping they can bring it back just someday. Cause also like, I don't know, getting kids like and seeing kids like all excited about running and like doing their little race, which was the 100-meter dash or like the diaper dash itself. So
yeah,
I hope that they can bring it back and like their little bibs.
Oh, I didn't even think about children bibs.
They're so small and they're so cute. They're little shirts.
Oh,
And I didn't even
that's
see
so
any
cute.
babies. I just saw like 5-ish-year-old looking, like 3 to 5-year-old, like because I just I run near runner relations and stuff like that. I just saw those teeny little things. I didn't even
That's
see
so
like the baby
cute.
ones.
Oh no.
Yes, a sock.
Mm-hmm.
And they're little metal too. Like it was Stitch was on it. Like
That's adorable.
so, if you have a pressing story that you would like to tell about the kids races, let me know.
Everyone wants to hear it.
Yes, I want to hear it.
I do too.
So I need to hear it actually. But it's so cute. It looks like such a fun little event. They have like again like nice production value for being it looked like the balloons and the cutie stuff that they had up. So
love that.
Big fan. After that point, I decided it was time to not go shower. Actually, I went into DCA because it seems like
Whoa.
this is not for long. This is like full gremlin mode. So again, I love when I make an accidental tradition and then I go, should I? I'm like, yeah, I should. After that first 10K back, dressed as Sorcerer Mickey in 2024, I went into DCA, ordered breakfast from Smoke Jumpers, dank breakfast burrito, and potato barrels. And a cold brew. Right, almost like a Run Disney meme account. Took a picture of me and I'm just sitting there vibing. I'm like wrapped up as a little baked potato in my Mylar because at that time it was cold. I'm just vibing and like just eating my little like, and it wasn't like it was like oh, I loved your Run Disney energy this morning. And then again, like this like a month and a half later, the picture gets to me, and I'm like, oh my god, that was me.
Wait, I didn't realize you didn't even know about it at first.
No, I didn't know about it. Well, maybe it wasn't a month and a half later, but it was a good amount of time later where I had people send it my way. I'm like, is that you? Yeah, it is.
Oh god, that's so good.
Because my, the primary purpose was because I was buying Lightning Lane that day, and I was like, I want to like get your tap in because you can't make a Lightning Lane selection on the West Coast until you are tapped or buy it until you're in the park.
Right.
It's like part of your ticket deal in advance. So I was like, okay, I'm going to just tap in and then I'm going to start stacking. So
smart.
I have my bag, and then I did this Halloween as well where I did get my breakfast from Smoke Jumpers because I know I had a really dank cold brew that time too because they had a lot of the holiday or the fall like festive cold brews. I'm dying at the train sound in the background because I'm like, yep, that's redacted hometown.
Sorry about that.
No, I love it. I'm leaving it. I'm like, yep, that time of night.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just one of those things that kind of just like, it feels right for me to like just be in there. And it ends up that it was. So I'm just sitting vibing, waiting for, I'm like sitting on a bench, just like glittery breeze, like kind of like, like sun is shining. I'm, happy little clam. And I still have my bib on, because I haven't gone back to shower yet. And some lady comes up to me and she goes, hey, so like, how have your races been? And I go, I'm having a great time. Because then she explains that like she was like reading a lot of stuff online and that she was like, it was kind of getting in my head a little bit. I'm like, oh no, I'm having an awesome time. I'm like, and you have to remember that a lot of people who are having like a great time, even like a good time, like are probably just enjoying their time in the parks and probably aren't posting about it on the Facebook groups while they're still in the parks.
Yes.
Yes. Like it's one of those things where it's like,
yeah, you're in the moment.
Exactly. You're living in the moment. And like, maybe I'll post a picture if it's like, oh, show me your costumes. Like, and I see the thread. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll post a picture of my costume. Although usually I probably won't do that till after the half because I am squirrely about my bib number. Start talking to her and she's like, I'm really nervous. This is my very first half marathon that I'm running. And she's like, kind of like, I'm like, talk. And then I'm like, okay, it's my job to hype you up. Okay.
Yes.
I do. I'm like, even because she is in Corral I and she's like, I'm nervous. I'm like, well, listen. Even if you put like a mile or a minute per mile of distance between yourself and the balloons, that adds up. By mile 10, that's 10 minutes and you have plenty of time. Right. And
that's true.
I've been training around like 14s, 15s. I'm like, oh girl, you're good. You're good. Like I was like, like try to do the in-park bathrooms because those are real bathrooms, but you're fine. You're going to be fine. And like, like just trust your training. I know it's like scary to be, my first half was a Disney half too. It was the Princess Half Marathon in 2022. And I'm like, I talked to her. I was like one of those moments where like, she's like, I chatted with her for like 5-10 minutes. Like, and she's like, thank you. That like really was helpful. to like just chat with you or to just talk to somebody who's like having a good time. And this is somebody who has done the Walt Disney World or is more of a Walt Disney World regular. I don't exactly remember where she was from, but I talked to a lot of people that weekend. Who shocked?
Wow, surprise.
Surprise. About as surprising as me ending up at races.
Hmm.
But she's like, I did the springtime 10 miler last year and whatnot. And she's like, so I'm like kind of used to it there. And I feel like a lot of people have been disappointed who have come from the East Coast. And I'm like, listen, you just have to expect that they are, they're different events. They are. You can't treat it as the exact same. Like, yes, I understand some of the like kind of, but you have to kind of like set your expectations as such. And I was like, and also if people are complaining after that 10K that we just did, like where were you? Like, yes, there was certain crowding, and yes, there was like, courses get crowded, especially when you are so park.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the space for people to spread out? Except when I was like, wow, this is weird because I stopped for that thing, and there's just like no one around. Because they hadn't started yet. But it was one of those things where actually after the half, this is skipping ahead a little bit, she posted in a group and was like, yeah, I talked to some Natalie from Nebraska.
I love that.
And then I got like 3 or 4 tags on that. Like, hey, I think this was you. So I am representing my new state well, first of all. But secondly, it was one of those like kind of like, and I don't mean like there's this like cosmic like I was meant to be there, but I was like kind of like jokingly how I'm like, yep, gotta go get my smoke jumpers, my cold brew, my breakfast Sammy, like my kid's breakfast sandwich, like because I don't really want to eat that much, in my cutie, whatever. Because I was just sitting there waiting, and I feel like having some sort of a positive impact on somebody else's race later.
Yeah.
Guess I just go in after the 10K, and it turned into so much more.
Yeah, you ended up being exactly where you needed to be to help her with her race weekend. And I love that.
It was like an impact that I didn't even know. I was just like, because I remember thinking like halfway through the half, the next day I was like, I wonder how our race went.
Yeah.
I hope it's going well. I was tagged in it. It was like, this you? I'm like,
yes.
I literally comment guilty as charged.
So she did end up having a good race then.
She did.
Good.
Which I was happy about. So,
we love that.
Well, it was almost like not divine, but like, just places where you're meant to be. And that was a place where I was meant to be at that moment to help somebody, like, because she's like, yeah, she really helped me kind of, put the positivity into my race and my mindset and stuff. And I'm like, it is like, like enjoy the parts. Cause I know a lot of people complain about the out of park parts during the Anaheim halves. And I'm like, I was like, enjoy it. Like you have a lot more elbow room. The community comes out. There's like, I've never done this course before, but this is like reminiscent apparently of the old Tinkerbell halves. So I'm like, I'm like just talking about all the good things about it versus like, oh shit.
Yeah.
It's I was like, listen, if you've survived the International Squeezeway going from the boardwalk to Hollywood Studios, like you'll be good, girl. Like,
yeah, that's so true.
Not to dunk on that part of the course, but that's basically there is one lane of traffic, and whatever you start that at, you have to finish it at. And meaning, if you're running, you're running. If you're walking, you're walking. You're basically not changing.
Yeah, and it's good luck.
Yeah, good luck, have fun.
Yeah, that part's rough. But it is cool. And it is, I feel like, such a good reminder about how much your mindset matters and how sometimes it is important to take that time to reframe it and not be so, because it's easy. I mean, obviously I've only done Disney World races, but it's easy to look at sections where you're running, 3 miles on a highway and be like, really? But it is important to turn it around and be like, yeah, this also has merit. This is fun. There's different things to enjoy about this. And ultimately, it's all part of the race, which is fun in itself.
Oh, exactly. I mean, I'm my other big unpopular opinion is that I kind of like the highways at Walt Disney World. Okay, there are some of them that like I might beef with just a little with, but depending on the day. But like, I like to just get out on the highway part and just cook, like actually just enjoy the run. And like, it goes by pretty quick. And yes, it is a straight line and it sometimes seems endless, but like if you're trying to like run those stretches, like back down to Epcot from Magic Kingdom, like you can just whip it. And I love to whip it. I've never gotten to the Blizzard Beach parking lot so happy in my life as this year after I whipped it down Western Way because I wanted to try to make it before if they were going to cut, and I did.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, there's merit to it. Like Also, there was like slivers of shade left on Western Way too, and I was like basically like running on the curb. I was like, oh, there's shade still. Hell yeah, like this is great. As again, I'm running like a freaking crazy person because I'm like, I'm trying to make pavement in Blizzard Beach.
Yep. Normal stuff.
Yeah, it for me, yes.
Yep.
So I do eventually retire back to my resort after my little breakfast, and then learn that my churro toffee is no longer on mobile order because I'm like, where's Bing Bongs? I mean, you can go get it, but like it's not on. And I understand that now because like the times I did mobile order it, they were probably like, who the F is like getting this much churro toffee? Me.
Who cares? That's none of your business. Give me my mobile order.
At like 8 a.m. too, because I definitely did that. I don't remember if it was after the half or after the 10K. I don't know. I know I loaded up twice on churro toffee in September. You know what? A girl's got to do what a girl's got to do.
Look, I get it. That's me with the caramel popcorn and Epcot every time.
So I do tidy up shower. That was like a full like hair wash type shower.
Oh yeah.
Type of deal. And then I head this time directly into Disneyland Park when I get back to the park. And do theoretically, she says, I take some medal photos because I do take some medal photos. And then those of you who know my mom, of which Maz definitely does.
Be weird if I didn't.
Know that my mom is a honk for a frozen Coke.
We agree so much on that.
And I really like a frozen Coke too. But did I have a life-changing frozen Coke this day?
What?
I was near the Matterhorn, which I did ride at some point, and I think it was, it had to have been the day prior because it was the first day I went to the park. I did ride the Matterhorn at some point. And then I was like, all right, chiropractic adjustment, done.
Yep.
And I was front row when I did that too. And I was like, I thought it was supposed to be better up here. In terms of like I think like row 2 or 3 is like the best for not feeling like you're being yeeted around, but that's just the charm of the Matterhorn. Anyway, so I'm near I get that, and then I get like a piece of like a cheesy bread thing. And let me tell you, this combo was so good. Like I sent like to my brothers too, and I sent the picture of the frozen Coke because I got Coke and cherry mixed together.
The best combo.
And I'm like, it's hot enough that I'm like, this is hitting so good right now. I'm just sitting.
That sounds amazing.
Watching little duckies too. And like the little duckies are going around. And while I'm sitting kind of eating my little snicky snack, lunchy type thing, is when I then see a post that I don't want to say they found in their box of Dumbo Double Dare metal replicas. I don't know how it happened. All I know is that there are more Dumbo pins at the expo.
Oh boy.
So luckily I'm right by the monorail because after I'm done with my little frozen Coke, do I get onto the monorail and go back to the expo for a third day in a row?
Of course.
Now,
okay, so this makes sense because I was wondering what brought you back to the expo that third day. And now I see.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, sure thing. Because I did not get a single other metal replica, but I'm like, if I can get Dumbo. And what they were doing at this point, which I know there is a critique about this, but they were verifying that you were registered for Dumbo Double Dare.
That's good.
In the confines of day 1 of the expo, especially at Disneyland Hotel, I cannot emphasize enough how much smaller of a space this is. If you've never done it, it is a lot smaller. Like when we were trying things on in 2024, it was like basically like literally like little huddles of like girl code. Like you would make new friends with people around you of like, hey, like A, like, does this look good on me? But B, like, because there was so like you couldn't really put your stuff down and like how like at Walt Disney World, I feel like at the expo, I like go like find my little corner. I try my stuff on.
Right.
And then like kind of like can like have like my little hidey hole. Like you can't even like sit down because like there's that little space.
Wow.
So I kind of understand why they don't have a little verification station because even for context for this year for Dopey, they did verify that you were registered. You had to show your check-in pass or your bib in order to get Dopey merch on day 1. That ate up a ton of space in that big old building, the Walt Disney World Expo. I cannot imagine them having the space to do that for Dumbo.
Yeah, there's no way.
Versus when the expo was pretty much picked clean by Saturday. Because this was the point at which I also had tried on my tank top. And then I was like, oh, this does not fit. Like, it's like, this is too big on me. Whoops. And was like, well, I guess it's coming back. And like, I had sent some messages out like, hey, like, I'd rather this like go to somebody I know or like, whatever. Like,
right.
I literally saw it like go. It was funny because I made when I did get to the expo, I made the return first. And then like, I think by the time I had like circled back around, I like saw the tank top go back out on the floor. Because I saw it get snatched up too. Because I saw it was the only large. It was really cute. So I wish I would have found it, but oh well. But yes, that's why I ended up back at the expo for the third day in a row.
That makes sense. I get it now. So you were successful in your quest. You at least got one metal replica.
And I'd argue it was probably the most important one to get Dumbo.
I agree.
Although also chores are Mickey.
I know. But one of the weekend, I do think that's the most important one.
Yes. And I had already gotten the coast to coast one at Walt Disney World. So it seemed, I don't even know if they had, if I'm being honest, they had the coast to coast merch, which third time's a charm. This was like the best of the coast to coast merch they've done. So they did have that out. I don't actually know if they had the metal replicas, if I'm being honest. They might have. I didn't even go look because I had mine.
Right. You didn't need to worry about it.
But yeah, it was so picked clean by that point. Like the expo, like they had the space to be able to verify that. Because they were like kind of like, they were like trying to type my thing. And I'm like, can I show you my check-in pass instead? And they're like, oh my God, yeah, that's so much easier. So then I did walk out with my Dumbo Double Dare pin. And then I was kind of like, almost like already waxing nostalgic about like the Disneyland Expo for the fact that it wasn't even over yet. But, I was like, okay, this is literally like the last time I'm going to be here because I'm not going to leave this building and then come back. Because at that point, I don't know what I would need, but it's in God's hands at that point. So I do go back for more Dole Whip. And they are they're like, hey, this is the last cup of the Disneyland cups. And I was like, oh, no, you don't need to give me, you can give me a paper cup. I was like, I have one already. So I'm like, you don't need, I was like, I feel like that's bad karma. To like, you're taking the last one and when you have one.
The last one. Yeah, you can't do that.
No. I was like a worse version of me maybe could, but like, I was like, I just went through coming back to the expo a third day in a row to try to get a Dumbo freaking pin. I'm not taking the last little cup.
You can't push it that far.
Exactly. Like I already like, I know what it feels like to like not be able to get that thing that you kind of wanted, So I was like, oh no, make sure that like, I was like, I'll take the paper cup. The person behind me can get the real cup because I already have one. So also I feel like they
probably made their day.
Yeah. I was happy to do that. And also like, again, like I got my tasty Dole Whip and I got a second round. So I'm like, because then they charge a little less because you didn't get the specialty cup. So I'm like, say less, baby.
It's a win all around.
Exactly. Oh, you're going to charge me only $8 for this? All right. And it was a really generous helping of it. Sure thing.
That's where it makes up because it is so funny, like the Disney math you start to do. You're like, yeah, only $8 for a Dole Whip.
It was a lot of Dole Whip. Like I probably could have shared that with Mr. Natalie, and we would have been like,
oh wow,
both. Like it was big boy. They were not messing around. But met some people. Took some pictures at some of the stuff that had worse lines because again, it was the last day of the expo. I did get booted, and my homie at the Namarisa booth absolutely recognized me again.
Yep. That's what I would expect.
And listen, this is the same guy who I fell asleep in the boots at Halloween Half because I was cooked after lamplight lounging for a while. Okay, like I took a fat nap. Okay, and like this man has seen my face multiple times, and then he's like, because one of the things that's nice is that they're not that pushy. So in terms of like they will give you the information. And he's kind of like, yeah, I've seen you before. He's like, kind of what would influence the decision? I was like, I did buy like a pair of like Costco ones, which I was like, I'm kind of like, would it, do those become travel? Blah, 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 blah. Across from me is somebody who has a bib that says Elite on it.
Oh.
And I go,
dang.
If you don't mind me asking, how do you get one of those? Like, you're just like, how fast do you have to run? He's like, no, I'm running for fun this weekend. I was like, shoot, I kind of wish you answered the question though. Like, how do you? Because I know it's like a very like I think it's about like the top 20 or something. I think I've read before or something like that. I know marathon weekend's a little different, but it's like
that's a small margin
in a small world because it was a half bib. I just was like, I have so many questions for you, sir, but I'm not going to push.
Why wouldn't he answer them?
He was just vibing. He was kind of like, he was just then zoned out in the boots. I'm like, I get it. As someone who napped here.
Yes. Yeah, that's fair. But also it's like, oh, it's your chance to be like, tell me your secrets.
I know. I'm like, how fast are you? Like, at what point am I still going to be on the course because I'm playing tomorrow? Because then you're going to be done.
Right.
Even if you are playing. Although that's like master play level, because if you're like start front of A because you have the elite bib and then you just play to like, you have a lot of playtime.
You have hours.
Quite literally.
Well, now I know what you'll be doing next.
Oh yeah. That is what I aspire to in my life is like, again, it's like I always say like I like hash browns is what I want out of this world where he starts like he's fast. He starts like first wave of A if he's not doing a dead last start. He starts like first wave of A and he figures out basically how to finish with the balloon ladies. All kinds of shenanigans in Bound. Like he did Dinosaur 6 times once. Oh.
6.
He dried off with Dinosaur and then Triceratops spin a couple times too. I love that is the game I aspire to. Like, you know, like one may think I'm like breaking myself, like, you know, like basically breaking my muscles open and then like whatever with lifting, whatever, because I want that. Like, yes. The personal achievement of like rip it, like, or my ripper being like, whatever. But it's also that. It's like, I want to be able to do that of like, I can do whatever character stuff I want because I'm quick. Like, I'm like, you know, that's what I aspire to in this world. Again, like stuff like, yes, you might finish in the dark too. Like, that sounds cool too. Or like, you know, like you are going to be able to get Morton on the Chicago Marathon course. That sounds fun too. But also,
that's cool.
Also, Ripper. Anywho, at this point, actually, I got the Dole Whip after the boots. So sorry.
Oh, well, that changes everything. How could you?
This is the point where I had a very late mission breakout return time. I think I misreported it as the day prior. Oopsie. Unless I wouldn't have skipped it the day prior. No, I wouldn't have skipped mission breakout. Maybe that was one where I did get a late mission breakout and then I switched to something else. And I don't know, but it's that the pictures on the phone are reporting elsewise. Because what I did know I had going on was that I had the Rise and Run meetup. And I knew I wanted to make it over there. I had so much fun, and I have fun every single time I do it. But somehow, because it's at the picnic area, like outside the park, it somehow feels like it almost feels close. I mean, it is closer than Disney Springs, but I also end up at Disney Springs for dinner, and I like usually stay in the Disney Springs area for races. So like, I don't really know how. Right. I don't know how the girl math is girl mathing right now, but like it is nice and close, and like it's usually shaded and stuff, and I had so much fun. This was another time that the monorail returning to Disneyland Park was down. So I had to walk it, which is obviously no big deal at all. But it was just funny that it happened twice in a row. It's $2, but it happened twice.
Yeah.
But I had so much fun at the Rise and Run meetup. I actually met people who are also alums of my college, and their parents are also Miami mergers.
Whoa.
Yes. Absolutely incredible. I didn't end up talking to her parents, but she was also a Miami alum and a year older than me. So kind of she was in a different like college, whatever. So it kind of didn't have like overlap with people. I recognized a couple of the names of people, but like we're just talking things like Miami, and it was so great. I just got my our Valentine's Day card because we're mergers as well. I got our Valentine's Day card from Miami, which is cute. It's like I have like other run friends.
That's so adorable.
Also got that. Small world, literally going into the small world half.
Yeah, talk about perfect timing. That's crazy.
Absolutely crazy. And like I talked to so many people, some people who I'd only like had a chance for like a little hug throughout the weekend, and like I got to talk to them. I know Bob was absolutely flummoxed at how many people came to the meetup because it was the West Coast contingent of the Rise and Run family. And I know he gave me a big hug when I saw him. He's like, "How are you doing, sweetheart?" I'm like, "Oh, Bob." And I just and his wife is so cool. His wife, Becky, so freaking cool. And he was just like, this is incredible. So I stayed there for like a while, because then I was like in some good conversations with people. Like I was part of the group picture, and somehow I end up like the front of the group pictures. And this happens a lot, not just because like I like attention, because most runners, like attention, but people don't volunteer for the front. So I'm like, all right, fine.
Yeah.
I'll go. Like I can still sorority, work stuff. I'm like, I can sorority squad. It's fine. Like it'll never die. The sorority squad is just part of me. I might die actually trying to do it right now with how sore my legs are after deadlifts today.
But typically
I'm fine with it. So that was amazing. I did go back into DCA because then I did do my mission breakout ride, and went up. That was the last thing that I like did for the day. I theoretically did things in Disneyland too, but
it's into the abyss now.
It is into the abyss, and that's just how it goes. I ended up getting dinner at my hotel that night. Just like kind of like I literally just wanted like a sandwich.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was good. All I wanted was like
good.
A little wrap though, like from like the like hotel like little thing, and some pirate's booty. That's all I wanted.
Mm.
And
it's a good meal though.
Oh yeah, it was pretty good. And then I got myself ready for bed, and again, we tried to get. We were in bed, like tucked in by 6:30. Were we asleep?
Yeah, this is what I wanted to ask, because this was the night that I responded to your story, and it was late. You should have been asleep hours prior. And like 20 minutes after I responded to your story, you responded to me.
Sure did.
And I think my reaction was, why on earth are you awake? Because A, you should have been asleep. But B, you are so strict about going to bed at a reasonable time. I was gobsmacked that you were awake.
Oh, listen, again, I was in bed. I just could not fall asleep because I think I was just excited, and like it was just like the like happy jitters and whatnot. It was just one of those. But yeah, I know it was like one of those like, what are you doing? What are you doing like alive right now? I also, I was like, to fill in the gaps is that not only did I like the way I got back to my hotel is that I did end up taking an Uber from the Grand Californian, and or a Lyft. I was like, and I had been very good about that too. Like like just walk. Okay. Like, whatever.
Right.
I've been very good about that, or like finding people to walk with, whatever. But I was like, I'm treating myself to just a little Uber from.
You've earned it at that point.
Yeah, I was like the day before a half, because then I met somebody who follows me. I distributed so many stickers, which
yes,
more on that. More on that in a bit, because we have. I got like a little variety pack of stickers coming on, so you're gonna have for Princess, but. So
love that.
Don't distract from the thing. So Flatty was out nice and early. I could not fall asleep because I was just wired, and good conversations, of course, at the Rise and Room meetup, like just that happy, glowy feeling you get when you're.
I do understand that. Yes.
And like you're excited for the next day. Like I think I'm at the point where. Most halves I'm not super nervous for. It depends also, like if I'm going for time, yeah, I'm still nervous. But for the most part, and like yes, I like will like have that moment of like, oh, 13 miles is like kind of a lot, man. Like dog, like that's a lot. But I'm not.
Yes, it is.
But when I'm going like more like chill vibe, like because I mean, even before Wine and Dine, I had just run the Chicago Marathon 2 weeks prior. That one, it was like more like I'm gonna feel like I literally am like a piece of trash, and I'm not even like 40 and where I'm a fun piece of trash. I'm literally like a piece of trash on the road, and like I need to be like picked up by someone doing community service. That's how like my legs felt.
That paints a bleak picture.
That's just how my legs felt when I was starting the running. Like I settled in, like, but I remember that is basically how I felt on the highway, like leading into Epcot, like for the Wine and Dine half this past fall. And then again, things got better. But I remember I was like, dang. Yeah.
It's rough.
So want to know what else I did to wild out on this race weekend?
Oh, yeah.
I wore brand new shoes for a half marathon.
What is wrong with you?
Okay, so I had this conversation with myself because I was debating, am I going to wear them since I bought them 5K day? Am I going to wear them for the 10K and then I'll just, or I'm going to wear them for the half. And I thought about it and I was like, so I've run in adrenalines before. I run in adrenalines.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, how many times do I just have this same conversation with myself just before a training run at home?
That's true.
And if I'm this many miles out from my house and I'm doing an out and back, like, guess who has to go home no matter how much her feet hurt? Me.
That's a good point.
I try not to summon the Mr. Natalie mobile unless it's like a critical emergency, which it's never, thank God, has never been. I try not to summon the Mr. Natalie wagon to come get me unless, like, again, it's like hey, like, I might have a hard time getting. And again, thank God that has not happened. Like, I try not to be like, because I know that even if I had if I do ever summon him, it's like he's gonna be like, oh my God, what's wrong? Are you dying? Like,
right.
In a way, like, he'll be very concerned, as you should. But like, and if it's just like, oh, my footsie hurted. Like,
yeah,
like, I got boo boo on my foot. I mean, he would obviously come get me, but he'd be like, I don't activate that unless, again, like, I am dismembered, which, again,
it's necessary.
I've come this long without that happening, even though I felt like that before the wine and dine half. So yes, I wore new shoes. I wore my new Disneyland shoes for Disneyland half.
That's a bold move.
Did we have the most cushiony and I did pre-plan for this as a possibility when I only packed one pair of running shoes.
Of course you did.
So did we have the cushioniest socks left for this day? Hell yeah, we did.
Yeah, okay.
And also, did we spend our time KT taping dem tootsies? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
How did it go?
Oh, fine. Like, I really, like,
oh, good.
There was like one little point where I was kind of like, yeah, I'm like not as used to these because, like, I haven't run an adrenaline 25s.
Right.
They're all 24s or 20s.
Yeah, so it is still a new model, a new shoe.
Because again, like, you have to, like, you at a certain point, like, yes, do I usually take them out on like a shorter one, like a 3 or a 4, and then I'll take them on a longer? I'm like, well, I have to walk to the start, and if anything's like that critically wrong in that walk, I'm gonna turn my little tushy around and go back to the room and go get the other ones. And I don't know. I stand by what I did. It was fine.
Well, it worked. It worked out.
Yeah, again, I also know that, like, I like cushion too in my socks. I know that I made sure that, like, there were no extra flaps of KT tape this time that could bother me. I just did what I could because, so now I do know that, like, if there was ever a critical issue where, like, something got lost again, I don't pack like this. I probably would be fine buying the shoes at the expo. Like, I wouldn't I mean, I can't guarantee, I would buy whatever adrenalines were there. Because I can run in those.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So what you're saying is next year, marathon, we should be expecting you to run in brand new adrenalines.
Whoa. There are rules we have here, Maz.
Oh.
There's another set of rules for a full. Because it's like, it might be double the distance, but it's like 4 times the amount of F up that can ruin your day with the full.
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you. No. Nar.
I just want this on the record for like 3 years from now when you're like, so guess what I did? And then we can circle back and pull this soundbite.
Good Lord. If I'm ever that blasé casual about like a full because for some reason I decided to do ultras, God help my soul. God bless my little broken body. Good Lord. Because at that point, that's my mind too. And I do want to do at least one ultra, but like at what cost?
Why?
I ask myself that every day, I think. Rolling into the half marathon, though, I went with a nice small world theme. I had a I wore Tomorrowland Productions all weekend for my skirts when I wasn't wearing a crown skirt in the park. For my race outfits, I had crowned on. I had just gotten where I donated to somebody. Shout out to Nell. I had donated to her fundraiser. So they do in some of the crowned groups, they do like a highest bidder thing. And just you make a donation to somebody's fundraiser and then they like ship you whatever item they have. Some people have really rare pieces and whatnot, and like people will bid on them. But it was the Star Lake Queen, so like the Padme, like the Naboo Padme, like that yellows.
Oh, cool.
So that was what I ended up because I was like, I wonder what I'm gonna have go with this, because I had some other crowned options, and I really I once I put that and with the skirt, I'm like, nope, done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, this is it, done. I wore the same visor I wore for the full, and I was on my merry little way off to meet the wizard, aka run a half marathon.
Wild.
Yeah, I truly wilded out this weekend. It's just I was left unsupervised.
That's the mistake, yeah.
So I did get to this was the morning where I asked about, because I got there a little bit later. And this was the morning where I asked them like when I needed to be back in my corral, because I know with B, like they do have to they don't have the same strict closing times as Walt Disney World, but they do have to get them closed, especially because here comes the stampede of Mufasa behind you.
Yes.
I did go get a photo op in front of, they have like a little like faux finish line that was super cute. I got that, and then I headed back to the corral. I was back in there by 4:45. They were still letting people in by 4:50, but they actually ended up being a little delayed with the start of this race. And I still don't know if I heard exactly what happened. I feel like it's been just a lot of hearsay, but I realized it was like 4:58. I'm like, I have not heard the anthem yet. It's usually, which 4:58 is around when they have wheels starting. So last time, 2 years ago, what happened was that there was an accident on like some of the highway portion of the course, or like the roadway portion of the course. So they had to clear it because, wheels come through very quickly. So
yeah, that makes sense.
This, I didn't exactly hear what happened. I know that they had one of the announcers, and Carissa comes from the East Coast, and then the other two are local to California. One of them had to sing the national anthem because I guess literally like the person that was supposed to didn't show up, in a way where he found out at like 3:30 in the morning he was singing the anthem. And homie was warm for all that, considering that. He sounded good. Like, he was warm. Like, I love when I'm sitting there and like, it's like the Jennifer Lawrence audio with Hot Ones, where usually it's like about Broadway. It's like, oh, when Elphaba rips a good wizard and and like it's like, oh, she's warm. like I love when my little worlds collide, where I'm like, oh, like when I'm sitting even the Epcot parking lot, I'm like, oh, they are warm for this morning. Like, damn, that is crisp. That is a crisp anthem.
We do love that.
We do. We love that for them. Kind of standing at the start line and just knowing that, like, oh, wow, like, you got to soak it. You can't be, be too nostalgic for something, but before it's even happened, and, like, you can't be missing it before it's over, but it's also, like, kind of, like, take it in and, like, just, like, look around. It's like, who knows when we get to do this again? And, like, a lot of the, I was only there for a couple of waves of the pre-start messaging, but, like, that was kind of, like, the overall motif. It was like, oh, who are the dopey to Dumbos? And like this time I got to raise my hand because that hurts because I'm still sore. I was one of them.
Yeah.
Last time I was a Gumbo.
Which is so exciting.
I was like one of 100-something Gumbos. Goofy to Dumbo, baby.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Gumbo.
I mean, also I kind of obsessed with the name Gumbo, which is my friend Dinah's like, she's like, you're a Gumbo. I'm like, wait, I love that.
I do love that. That's very fun.
It's so fun. So get the race started, and similar entrance to before, where we go along Catella and then head into the parks, go into Radiator Springs first. We had some cool parade floats. There was one for Soul out where backstage really lit up all cool, kind of like right behind Incredicoaster. Headed into Radiator Springs. It was just kind of about like soaking it in a little bit, running up onto Pixar Pier, taking in all the sights and sounds and smells. Again, a barbecue,
of course,
never getting over that. Did make a potty stop on Pixar Pier, which I feel like sometimes they're purposeful things that I do twice. Okay. Or I do multiple times. Okay. Like sometimes it is purposeful, but sometimes it's just kind of a happy accident where I'm like, I do have to pee. And that is that bathroom right there. I'm going to pee in that one behind Jesse's Critter Carousel.
That's a good one.
It is. It's spacious. It's, there's just, a lot going on here. Like what's a girly pop to do? And then during this race, then they had like the photo op for where they were doing one in front of Mickey's Wheel of Death was a little different, where it was a little bit closer to the entrance to Pixar Pier. Because I'm taking selfies. I'm like, oh darn, there's no photo op. And then I like see later. But then this is another time where we're on Disney Media, like pulled the side, like, hey, can you like pose for me too? And I'm like, yeah.
Love it.
It didn't end up anywhere, but that's okay. It's still really fun when like somebody with the official race photographer bib like pulls you aside and is like, hey. I'm like, hey. But it's one of my, I love that. I love the picture too, because it's just like, it's joyous and joyful, and like it's such a good photo op.
That's everything you want.
Oh yeah. We continue on, go through Avengers Campus, and I'm like a little like oh, like it's the last time I'm gonna do this, and like I'm like, okay, you can't do that. You have so much more race to go.
Was it hard though, like kind of controlling that emotion, knowing that like the future is kind of up in the air as you like go through the park sections?
Yes, but also something I did to purposefully try to ground myself with that is that we never, for most of us, never truly know when's going to be our last time doing something.
That's true.
So, like, I talk about how, like, yeah, I'm not going to dopey this year. And then, like, whatever. And, like, I mean, like, jokingly, but, like, who knows, like, like, and it's something that Chris always says is, like, there will be a day that you can't do this, and today is not that day.
Yeah.
So I try to ground myself with that knowledge of, like, I can sit here and be sad and like almost like already miss it, but I can also just sit here and choose joy. And joy is what I'm going to choose, and just how lucky I am to have this experience and not kind of focus on when do I get to do it again, because who knows, they could be back in 3 years. They could be back in 3 years and like for whatever reason I can't do it for a different reason. Like,
right,
the situation has changed. Maybe I'm still running because I need that in my life.
Yeah, let's be real.
But like maybe
you'll be running.
Maybe halves aren't something I can do. Maybe my husband and I have children and I can't do that right now, and like that's just not possible. Maybe my job situation has changed. There's a lot of reasons why like circumstances change. So I try to make sure I'm enjoying things for what they are, and not just thinking like, tomorrow's not promised in any capacity, right? Your life can change on a dime. So I try to make sure that the experiences that I do get to have, like, and I don't take them for granted, right? Like Princess is in a couple weeks now. So, and yeah, you know how I feel about Princess. I freaking love Princess. And it's not ever something I take for granted to get to run down Main Street. Because who knows, right? Okay, well, they better not ever try to like not route Princess down Main Street during the castle for Princess Weekend. But
they couldn't.
It's choosing joy. It's getting to the Blizzard Beach parking lot and going, woo, I'm here, baby. Like doing the full, because it's like like it's not promised. It's not promised. So yeah. I try to keep that good like positive mindset of like how lucky I was to get to have this experience. And just, again, I chose joy the entirety of this half, even when my legs were like not choosing joy back at me. I mean, I was pretty fine throughout all of it, but like they were like, girl, girl, this is more steps than I think we put on when we put on these in a while. I think since the marathon, but yeah, I think that I tried to not, the character stops I did get to do. It wasn't just like, oh, this is the last. No, we're not like we're choosing joy and just the enjoyment of the experience.
I love that. Good perspective to have. I mean, obviously for running, but also for everything.
Let me tell you. No, it's just how I like to look at things, and how lucky I know. I will get to that at the end of the race.
Okay.
We'll run across the Esplanade again. The people cheering are hype. Head down another trip down Main Street, USA, but then this time heading on into Tomorrowland, loop around, and like I knew like the big like money picture, I almost just called it something else, would be in front of It's a Small World. But something I noticed during this race, and I actually had picked up on this prior to the hello home train, miss you too, baby. Something I had picked up on when I was looking at runner tracking earlier in the week was that the leaderboard said 4, 8, and 12 splits. Now, actually, I had tried to get a picture near the partner statue right around 3.1, and security was like, hey, we can't actually have in some other people had followed me, not people I actually knew, but like, and they're like, hey, we can't have you up there. And like, I kind of got it because that the other side is when you run through the castle. So like, there's a whole lot of like place for you to slip through, cut the course.
Right.
Disneyland is absolutely wild with the course cutting stuff, meaning how Disneyland reacts to it. They don't mess around.
I mean,
and Run Disney
respect.
This year in general has gotten better about course cutting, or like kind of basically either disincentivizing course. Well, okay, you should never feel incentivized to course cut. You're cheating yourself, especially. But also they've gotten a lot better about like kind of like catching you in the act. That's like during Wine and Dine, they put the timing mat at mile 7 in the Blizzard Beach parking lot. So if you cut Blizzard Beach, you would not have hit the 7 timing mat.
Oh, that's so smart.
Our timing mats were at 4, 8, and 12. Because, and I will explain verbally what the mappy map looks like. So you exit near It's a Small World, and there's a spot where you're running like parallel to people who are about to then exit the park and go onto the roadways. And they're on mile 5. You're like 3 point something. And it's cool. It's really cool because I'm like, woo, like excited to see them.
Yeah, I do love when that happens.
Oh, I love that aspect of things. So you're there. And if you were to be not the most honest person, that's a really easy place to cut. But guess where the timing mat was? 4 back in the park. Right by the other side after you enter in Toontown of It's a Small World.
So clever.
I legitimately laugh out loud when this happens and go, Run Disney, you're so sneaky. I legitimately do. Like, I'm like a comic book character. Because then there was somebody who I was running near who was just trying to go to the bathroom that was near that little Mickey Fantasyland theater. I forget what I think that might just be what it's called. But, it's like near the entrance to Toontown. It's like kind of toward that area. It's near Small World and whatever. And they were just going to the bathroom that was near. They're like, hey, make sure. Cause like the timing mat was there. Cause they're like, basically like, make sure you cross the timing mat. Mm-hmm. And it was like a couple feet ahead where they were just asking like, hey, where's the closest set of bathrooms? So, at that point, and then you run through Fantasyland, you run by Dumbo, which, was on, I mean, it wasn't for riding, but like, it's cool. It's like Dumbo Double Dare, woohoo. And, and you run through the castle. It's amazing. And that was the point at which I clicked. I was like, they are preventing cutters. And that's why they have security right by the partner statue.
Brilliant.
Because again, this season, they've been a lot better. You then run into Frontierland, head into, I almost just called it Liberty Square because that's what it is. But I mean, New Orleans Square near the Rivers of America that we don't have no mo. And you make your loop around, you loop into Galaxy's Edge. It's a pretty good, like, loop around Galaxy's Edge, and then you exit the park part. Again, you're backstage, and that's a lot of fun too. It is a little bit narrow during that overlapping part where you kind of like, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun. You just have to make sure people aren't on the other side of the cone where they're like running at you. I'm like, sir, ma'am, you are on the wrong side of this. But yeah, you see Third Shift as well, and then you're on your way out of town. I mean, into town really, because you're heading into like downtown Anaheim. Mm-hmm. But the only real like incline, which is like not even as bad in my opinion as the overpasses, because it goes like over the interstate on this course, where it's like this is like basically the only hill that exists except for one little like weird dippy dip. But you are running parallel like to the other part of the course, where again, I think that's so fun. And like there are medians. God, I wanted to call it a meridian. Right. I'm like, hey, this is not the prime meridian. No, medians. So like, it's kind of like, so there's like enough space, whatever. So like, that's not quite as much of like a course cutty risk. But it's fun because I see other people who I know, like other friends I have on when I'm heading out toward downtown Anaheim. And then also when they are heading back, kind of there. And then when I was also heading back toward closer to the finish line around like a little after mile 6 ish. Because I had made the turn to like get onto the other side. Some lady took a tumble near me. So, oh my God, I felt so bad for her. Where like she was like, I think it was more that she was shocked. like she was like so surprised. So because I saw
Yeah.
like, I don't know, someone else helping her, and then like I like helped kind of get her to the curb and like out of the way, and she was like, I had like some sweaty tissues to offer, and that was about it, and as well as emotional support. But we eventually flagged down. We had somebody run and get a medic, and she was just apologizing like profusely. I'm like, oh my god, no, do not. She's like, go do your race. I'm like, no. This, like, she's like, I'm sorry for ruining your race. I'm like, it would like ruin my race to like just leave you here and like have to think about if you were okay or not.
Right.
That would ruin my race.
Yeah.
Like, not like that you tripped, like not knowing that you're okay. Because then actually a police officer then came because he had like someone who was on a bike, and he like they did have medical coming, and like he's like, hey, do you just have some band-aids? Because she was just like surprised and like upset in a way. Like she seemed pretty okay. She hadn't like hit her head or anything. I actually never got a follow-up on that story, so I hope that she ended up okay. But I think she was mostly just surprised, so just scraped herself up a little bit.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where I was like, oh boy, I hope that's a story I'd love to have a follow-up on. I didn't see somebody who was like, hey, I tripped around this time and was helped by people but didn't finish. So I didn't see a story like that. So I'm kind of hoping, I'm fingers crossed that she is okay, and that she was kind of okay, just got a little bandaged up and was all good.
That's my hope, because I feel like it sounds, thankfully like it wasn't too serious. So hopefully she was able to just put on a Band-Aid, kind of shake it off a little bit and keep going and hopefully finish the race.
Yes. So we headed toward, again, like downtown Anaheim. We took a little like blip into near the Ducks. I think it's their like practice rink. I don't know. All I know is the Mighty Duck was out, and I was vibing. They had their media team out, and like the Duck was like absolutely fist pumping. It was so hype. It was so fun.
That's so cool.
Love it. Because I did do the Ducks stadium parking lot. Yeah, so that's out further east. Because that's the first year that I ran this half. So it was like, I think it might have been their like practice rink or something. I don't actually know. But the Duck was vibing, and I was absolutely vibing with this Duck, which is just me at Epcot when I've had a couple drinks too. So like me just vibing with a Duck. Actually me at the Wine and Dine after party sometimes too. So out on the street, it's absolutely just amazing. Me vibing with the Duck, and just that's like really, really energizing. And what's nice about this course is that because you're heading kind of into the like kind of like the city of Anaheim, like you got buildings, you got shade.
That's huge.
Oh, it's amazing. Like, again, how do you like you wax poetically, like, and the thing is, like, a lot of the ways that this course is laid out is kind of based on like having contingency plans. Again, that like the way you like look at a course of like, oh yeah, they could just chop, if they needed to shorten this because there was like a severe weather thing. Like, again, we had beautiful running weather, but they can. Again, and also knowing the history and that this is a lot like the Tinkerbell half course, made me appreciate it that much more, because we ended up near, gosh, now I forget what park it is, but I know it's near the Kobe Bryant Memorial. Out in like near mile 8, which was where our next mile marker was. And if you tried to cut that part, guess who wasn't hitting that mile marker? Not you. It was Pearson Park. I knew it was a P. I wanted to call it Piedmont, but that's something else entirely. But Pearson Park, mile 8 timing mat. Then you kind of almost like, you didn't completely repeat what you just did, but you kind of like looped in some different ways. You could see some of the other parts of the course, which I always think is fun. Like, oh, those people are heading that way, and like they still are, we were this many miles ahead of them. But then you eventually got to the point where you were on the parallel to the other part of the course. I was at mile 10 when they had kind of the sweeper brigade coming, and they hadn't even gotten to 7 yet. So I'm like, we're good. I knew I was good.
You're fine.
I knew I was fine. But in a way, it was just like, I could probably like handstand, like if I wanted to. I'm not going to do that, but
you could.
I could probably like do a couple cartwheels and like just vibe. But I had a lot of people who I saw coming one way, the other way, and like I try to be that cheerleader also for other people when that's the case, where like it's like, yeah, nice job, guys. Just people who I think like, you are doing a great job. You're doing a really good job. Like, especially like, as the sun is coming up, it is getting a little bit warmer and stuff like that. So I do try to cheer on other people as I'm running past them. Did love to see the Bichon Poodle that was with the people who are the Bring Back the Star Wars races. And let me tell you, this little dog, I was like, okay, I have to ask you what your dog is, first of all. But it said she is woofing for you. And it's a guy in a dark trooper outfit.
Um, Amazing.
Yes. And then bring back the order. The 501st is out at like every Disneyland race. So it's always a treat to see them. But you also, the way that this works is that you have like an out and back. So I got to see them twice.
I love that.
Once we got to mile 11, this is like, it's Cerritos Avenue, which I think this I have run every single time I've done like the Disneyland half. And there's a specific little kind of like under a bridge type thing that you do, and it's funny because that's where the mile 11 and a half, it wasn't quite 12, it was 11 and a half was where the next timing mat was. So if you tried to skip this area, you would not have registered that time. And again, like, I'm laughing every time I get to one of these because I'm like, this is so funny.
They really thought that out.
Yeah, and it's basically like, well, like, I think it was a little bit past 11 and a half because like it was right past the water station is where the timing mat was. Cause like, okay, you might like, what are you going to do? Like, and kind of what's nice is when they've had these like water stations that are like right near a bend like this is that they will give you water on both sides, like a turnaround point. So it's kind of really nice, especially around Halloween half, which was hot as blazes. But, you know, and it's nice though, because at Disneyland, I don't know the way quite as much because I've done that half 3 times, but there was this familiarity to like where mile 12 is, where I'm like, yep, let's go.
Yeah.
I actually did kind of I did rip a little bit to the finish. But, you know, in a way that it was just like, I'm enjoying myself. I'm like, the high five machine is on of just whacking people's hands as I'm going around, and I come on in, like, you know, you're getting closer. You go underneath this underpass where people apparently were handing out shots. I just gave them high fives. Didn't realize there was alcohol. And it wasn't just like random people. It's people from Kelsey's Hope. They had their own little like cheer squad, like too. So I was like, wait a minute, let me make this sound less sketchy than an underpass with like shots out in the city of Anaheim. But, you know, you're cooking along to the finish, and then you can see the start line from where you are, and that's like right after mile 13. So then you kind of round the bend, and you get into the finish, and I'm like, oh man. And it's like a joyous one, because this was a really strong race for me. It wasn't a race I raced per se, but I did feel really strong, all things considered, you know, 3 weeks after a marathon.
Yeah.
And a marathon where I was like, you know, kind of questionable. I felt strong during that one too, but like kind of leading up, it wasn't like my normal, like 2 months going into Dopey. Let's just say that. Because I ran another marathon, you know, that's just how that goes.
As you do.
As one does, you know, God, just girly things. And so I finished the race, and I'm like, dang, that was so much fun. And like, I'm a little emotional, but it's just kind of like buzzed and happy and vibey, and just, I get my medal, so the Small World half medal, and then I go get my Dumbo Double Dare medal, and then there's a separate queue to put you in for your Coast to Coast one, because you get a wristband at the start of the weekend to signify that you're supposed to get Coast to Coast, and then they cut it off.
Smart.
Yes. I don't know why I was like paranoid somehow I was going to slip out of my Coast to Coast wristband. I had not had a problem this whole time, but for some reason I was like, what if it just like slipped?
You never know.
We had no problems with the tightness on it for this whole time.
Yeah, but that's, you know, it gets in your brain.
It does, after how many days of like not sleeping that much, but like vibing and stuff. But I basically kind of like scurry a little bit, because what I knew I wanted to do, because I had done this after the Halloween half, was I knew I wanted to cheer into the finish line.
Yes.
The rest of the way. So what I do, and I'm like, it's bumping. And I'm like, I know I have about like an hour left to finish line at this point. I'm like, cool. 45 minutes, hour, whatever. And I end up like finding a pocket, and then I realize I'm like, one of our listeners is there. I'm like, Davis? And Davis, I like refer, he's not Florence in the Machine. He's Davis in the Machine. Cause my guy is like, he's so fast.
Yeah.
He's so nice. And I was like, how did your half go? Like, and he of course did amazing. And we were waiting for his wife to finish.
Oh, love that.
I'm like, okay, perfect. Now I even have someone to just chit chat with while I'm sitting here cheering the finish line. And let me tell you, was the Banshee awoken? Again, as it is, the Banshee awoke. And what I did, and this is similar to Halloween half, where everybody who came by, but then like if the people near me, I'm like, okay, what's your person wearing? I was like, you've heard me for the last 10 minutes. Like I will screech for them too. Like I will make sure that they have their hype thing. So it was nice to see people. And then like their families came in. There was near us in the near where Davis and I were standing, there was like a little tot too. So like the baby like hugged the mom. I'm like, oh my God, my heart. This is the cutest thing I've ever seen. I'm not ready for this.
That's adorable.
It was so cute. It was incredible. I saw so many people I know, so many, villains. I was like, hi, villain. Every time I see another Dead Last Start villain, I'm like, hi, villain. And sometimes they're like, what's going on? They're like, hello, villain. And it was so much fun. I absolutely popped off when Davis's wife came by. It was so fun, just like waiting and like just cheering people on and just chatting with Davis. And it was amazing. I had so much fun. And then he left because then he's like, okay, I'm going to go like find my wife. I'm like, okay, like awesome talking to you. We'll see you later. And then I kind of like hype up some more people around because like at this point I know like balloons are starting to close. Things are starting to thin. So I, of course, up the ante.
As you do.
And I up the ante and I'm like louder somehow. And then I know, and I don't start seeing balloons quite yet, but I'm like, I know they're coming closer. So I do want to get a little closer to the finish line. And I kind of inch and I get like around like this one little like bend. So like I can see the finish line. And I'm like, I'm going to get even a little closer. So I get even closer to the finish line. And again, I'm hooting, hollering, losing my voice. I have like 5 sayings. I'm like an animatronic. I'm like a doll where like you can touch Woody's like shoulder and he'll say this, and you'll touch like his like right kneecap and he'll say that. And yeah, that's about all I got. Like I'm going to make a joke about like, I was like, right around that corner is your banana. Like it's not,
Yeah.
Like you're like just gotta go get that banana. Or like, a lot of it was like finish strong and stuff. And there were some people who like, like kind of did like seem like, and I was like, you look great. You look great. You're almost there. And I was like, I would go, you're almost there. And I mean it, like, cause it's right there. But then I start to see the balloons come in. And already, like, come the waterworks, and I'm going to try not to cry during this, because they have the final finisher. And the final finisher, right. And, like, and the way, like, I see them coming, because it's, like, basically, like, almost like a U-E to get into the finish line from where the course is, which is awesome for a vantage point. She's, like, just starts hustling across. Like, she, like, hustles around that bend. I'm like, you go, girl. Like, knowing that was the moment that I was about to, like, witness of, like, the fire, or the confetti cannon goes off. And, just so many special finish lines that just happened before that. Like people I knew, people who I know had like gone through a lot to be there, and like medical things, like a lot, just like you see just a strain of like training for like Adobe to Dumbo, or even like whatever it was, even like just getting to this finish line. And I'm going to just quote Carissa because she said it best, quoting, but like how lucky we are to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard.
Mm-hmm.
If I wasn't crying before, I was crying then. And I'm so glad I got all that on video. Not like just to be able to like remember, like, and especially again when things do get hard with training, and like sometimes that visualization of the finish line and what that means, and especially to know that at Run Disney you do have a place no matter what, like there is no one size fits all runner, and that you have a place here. And you're going to get the confetti cannon even if you are the final person across the finish line before the balloon ladies. That there is a place for you here. And there is, like, you are, like, valid, wanted, and you are a runner no matter what it is that you put yourself up to. So I think especially, I've had just a little weirdness in the running journey the last couple of months. And like, like again, I did finish Chicago. I finished Chicago in a pretty good time, but like, having that moment of like, I got, like I worked so hard, and like something kind of weird and like not random, like kind of derailed me in a way. And like,
right.
Like I know that there's no like kind of impact on my value as a person, as a runner or whatever, but like just knowing that there is that support, and like kind of when things get rough, right? Like, and I never even had like I'm going to stop running type thing. Like that's not how, no. Cause I throw my backpack out and I go back at it, that's just how I operate, is that like, you're not even done with that first dopey and you're like, no, this is going to go better next time. Mm-hmm. Literally, like, not even into Hollywood Studios later that first fall. I'm like, no, we're going to do this better next time. We're doing this better. And there is a next time. But just knowing that there will be that moment to, like, kind of reflect on, like, that saying goodbye is hard. To me, it really felt like a see you later. Like, I just have such a hard time believing that was it. And if this was it, it did feel like a very good kiss goodnight. And a goodbye. But I don't know. I just can't believe that it's it. I just can't. And that might be the optimist in me. But also I just can't. Like I don't want to, so I won't.
Yeah.
I set the rules here.
I'm also choosing to believe for my own sanity that this isn't it.
No, I mean, people thought it was it when they kind of just mysteriously stopped, started the cancellation in 2017, where like that seemed like it kind of was just almost like a weird phase out in a way. So like I think people also thought it was it then. I don't know. I just, again, I won't believe it's it. And that sounds stupid because I can't read. So.
Exactly.
So I then eventually, I was like, okay, it is. I did stay until basically like they closed off the parking lot without even a cider there. Wild.
Whoa.
I know they don't do those in California, but that's okay. There was plenty waiting for me in DCA. So I did, because then right when they were cutting off photo pass lines I actually got in right before that. So it was good to get the actual like official medal photos. But I headed back. Absolutely, that was a full shower, baby. Because we were sweaty, we were stanky, and I then headed back into DCA, as one does as soon as I physically am able to. I put in a walk up for Lamplight Lounge. Didn't buy Lightning Lane this day.
Okay,
this time.
You were really wilding today then, just where the wind takes you.
Absolutely wilding. Because then I was like, I remember I sent a message where I was like, it originally said, I think 55 minutes for Lamplight. And I was like, okay, that's actually not too bad. And I was like, and I was at the boardwalk dining. So like because that's where the lobster nachos are, not the, what I had been doing for the brunch, which was not that. I just basically was like, where do I get lobster nacho? I am like basically thinking like, what could I get like a little mobile order of for like a little like appetizer or whatever? Cause I'm like, I'm starving.
Yeah.
But while I'm kind of having that, decision, determination, etc. with myself, I see Rex from Toy Story.
No.
He is so derpy and delightful. I love him. I had the best character meets out on Pixar Pier on this trip.
Oh, man.
Just,
I'm so jealous.
He was so, and like, of course, because it's California, there's like basically like no line. Like, I mean, there was like a little line, but it was maybe like 5-ish minutes. And like, they still spend their time with you. And like, we basically just like derped our way because he was, I guess, hype every time he saw a runner. He was like, his little T-Rex arms, he was like moving them. Like, I legitimately feel like I peaked in that character meet and greet.
That's it.
I did. That was the exact thing I said to my boss too. And I was like, I know you haven't challenged me to get this one, but at the same time, like, I kind of feel like I've pre-fulfilled the challenge.
Yes.
I loved him. And then honestly, it was almost like out of like, not a movie, but it was like, oh, like as I was like finishing that character meeting, it's like, your table's ready at Lamplight. I'm like,
oh,
booyah.
Perfect.
Booyah. It was time for lobster nachos. And beer.
What a combo.
What a combo. That was all I wanted in this world. They actually had some different offerings than they had downstairs. So I couldn't get, because there was a different cider that I got the other day. I did get the orange creamsicle ale, but I also got, I think it was a pear cider. They actually didn't have that upstairs. So I got a different type of beer, which I also enjoyed. But I was just sitting, chatting with the people around me, again, as one does.
Of course.
So just chatting with people. One of the things is that I was talking to someone for like 25 minutes who was sitting next to me. Again, just not surprisingly. And she actually ended up being a listener, but I didn't bring up the podcast at all. And I was just giving her advice because she was trying to figure out how to like, basically like some of my like tips on how to get a last minute bib. Not just a last minute bib, but get like the Discord bib. Just basically like if you do go the charity fundraising route, basically like everything. Cause she's like, I think I want to do my first Dopey next year. I'm like, cool. And like I was explaining some of my advice about Dopey and like how to take it, how to, like the training and how like this differs or whatnot. And like, again, at no point do I plug the pod at all.
What are you doing?
Well, I think that also part of me also wants to make sure that they are like, because sometimes I will like when I'm chatting with someone, but I was just I don't know, I was just vibing and I was having a good time talking to her, the person next to her, and just, It was enjoyable. And I was like, well, like, it didn't feel like I was like, I don't want you to just like, and again, I didn't know this was a listener because she then later DM'd me was like, I realized like after you left, I was like, I'm a little starstruck because I just sat and talked to you for a while.
That's so amazing.
The thing is, like, me just sitting being chatty, giving advice and stuff like that, that's just like System A that just got a microphone put in front of it in 2024.
Yeah.
That's just how I am and how I operate in general. Like, it's like, that's the genuine me of just like, you want some advice about dopey or getting into races? Oh, I can help you.
Yeah.
Or like how I pound the bibs, like how I do that. I did buy an individual lightning lane this day for lightning lane single pass. I'll get it eventually. For Radiator Springs Racers, because ain't nobody got time for that. But I also had a first for me, and it was called doing Luigi's Rollickin' Roadsters. I spent so much time in Cars Land.
I cannot believe you've never done that before.
I know, and I had never done the West Coast version of Alien Swirling Saucers, which is Mater's Junkyard Jamboree, and I had never done that either. But I just, every time it was like, oh, you know, like, I guess I'll get to there after I get off of Radiator Springs Racers. And then she never returned.
I think it is amazing.
Oh, I loved it.
That, yeah, I mean, they're great rides. I just think it's amazing that I somehow managed to beat you to those.
Hey, you're the OG, not me.
That's true.
But I had plenty of a good time chatting with somebody in line who was, because a lot of people, like, again, this is something about, I feel like Walt Disney World, people will ask you about your medals and stuff like that, but I kind of feel it's like, oh, what's that? Because that day I was wearing my Coast to Coast medal, which had chipped already. I've already been in contact with Run Disney about it, so I believe that I probably will get the replacement, because it was like a big chip, like right near Walt and Mickey, like on the pink. I'm like, oh, brother, what are you doing?
Seriously?
And it wasn't like from them clanking, because let me tell you, I got two boobs, and let me tell you, Dumbo went in one and Small World went in the other, and it was just the other one. So I don't really know how that happened. It happens. I haven't had an issue with a chipped, like something that was bad enough for that wasn't my own doing. Because if like a little tiny corner, like I don't ask for a new one. If it's like a big circular one like this, I will ask for it. But it's been 2 years since I've asked for a replacement. So, and it's been a while. So I've been pretty lucky.
You know, sometimes you do just get a medal that is prone to chipping, and there's really nothing you can do about it.
Exactly. So I get in line after I do my Rollickin' Roadsters. I get in line for Radiator Springs Racers. I tap into my lightning lane. I'm like a couple minutes late, but it was fine. But then the ride is down, and I see some people getting walked off. I'm like, that could be me. That could be me. Because if you're not familiar, Radiator Springs Racers is basically test track, but like Cars themed. And it's so lit. Yes. And then I was waiting with this family where most of the family had been before. That it was the dad's first visit. So like he was just vibing, and I ended up actually in the car with them when we got on the ride, because we were paused for like, I was waiting. I was like, can I go pee and like come back? They're like, well, we know who you are. Like, we'll save. I ended up not. I just waited till after. And when we were on the ride, like eventually it wasn't even that long of a delay for the fact that I saw people get walked off.
Right.
He was like, this is so cool. Because like you're in, like they're playing the like Cars music, like do 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 do, like when you're going through. Oh my god, I love that ride so much. We won too.
Oh, I miss that ride.
While I was on it was when they did the kind of like light up of Radiator Springs, which that's another thing I need to catch one of these days, where when they actually do the Shibuya, like they light it up. I have to catch that sometime.
Yeah.
I guess I got to go back. Oh, shock.
Oh no.
Oh no. It was so sad. I wasn't planning on it. Yes, I was.
What a shame.
But I'm like sending pictures to my younger brother. I try to like FaceTime him, and I was like, brother, I'm in Radiator Springs right now, because I know you would be so geeked, because he was obsessed with cars when he was younger, and like he just loved, like, I'm like, you would geek so hard here. So I'm like trying to like talk, like I was like, I know you would die for this. And then I'm just kind of like meandering around. I think I did get like, I got a margarita from San Francisco Square, frozen one, which was good. This was
nice.
And then I get the photo seen around the world, literally, in a way. And it's outside Lamplight Lounge, because that's where dreams are made. It's like Nomad Lounge is where dreams are born. and I get some really good pictures. It's around like 6:00, and like it's like the sun, like it's like just dark enough where like there's this magic shot. They give you a little paintbrush. There's a Mickey in it, and it is like the best thing. And it got reposted by Team Run Diz.
Woo! So cool.
Because like it was one of those like put your Metal Monday picture, and I popped it onto their like filter or their tag, and it was like, oh, like okay, sure. This was when I actually ended up going back because I needed a jacket. I went back to my hotel, got a jacket, and then came back to pick. I was like, what did I do before World of Color? I got a jacket because I was chilly, and I probably should have gotten pants too, but I didn't, and that's just how that went. Because then I did come back. I
don't want to hear it.
Yeah. That's the thing, is I knew I couldn't complain about it as it was like frigid everywhere else in the country. But it, yeah. Oh well. And I come back. I get like a little like kids meal at Smoke Jumpers like on my way, because I know like World of Color is going to start. And I actually get a pretty solid spot on Pixar Pier for again showing up for World of Color at like 9:00. I really want to do a dessert party one of these days.
Same.
And this is World of Color Happiness. So I knew I was missing Wondrous Journey, or I was going to like just catch some of Wondrous Journeys because of the overlap, because like World of Color Happiness is a long show. And like not knowing it was like kind of when it was going to be over, I was like, what are we doing here? Not in a bad way, but like what are we doing here? They had no freaking right for the Rainbow Connection part of that. That was rude, and like it made me cry, but in the best way because I was emotional. And then they go into a Walt thing about Disney. I'm like, you're rude, and like yes, like
that's brutal.
As I'm like having this like a magical, wonderful experience of like, but like the Rainbow Connection of it all, I'm like, yep, absolutely. Like it's like instant, like almost like a meme, like just tears down the face.
Yes.
I really liked
I'm picturing the two like rivers.
Yeah, literally two rivers like the emoji. I really liked the show. It's long. She's long. I really enjoyed it. I just love the light work. I love like I really want to do a dessert party for that. Or like a package. Yes. Again, it's so sad. You have to go. I have to go back.
Oh no.
And after that, I basically like hoof it over to catch as much of Wondrous Journeys over at Disneyland Park as I can, which I catch actually a decent bit of it because I wasn't actually like sure like when World of Color was like over because like it's not the same as like having like a boom 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 type of thing,
right?
And yeah, I mean, they have like it's absolutely beautiful. I catch like some of Wondrous Journeys, like the end part of like, dang, like I kind of wish that I had like maybe like hoofed it out a little bit faster because like when people start leaving, but like people start leaving during Fantasmic like when the boat comes out, and I'm like,
right.
You're missing Dopey and Goofy and like Steamboat Willie. Like, what do you do? You're missing him on the mountain and like
what are you
doing his little thing. Like if you've seen it a million times, you just want to get out there and get it, but like you're missing the good part. You're
still missing it. Yeah. This is it.
So, and I know it's kind of rare for Disneyland Park to actually have fireworks because of the whole Anaheim of it all with winds and whatnot. So, but it was cool to see what I was able to see. And yeah, I enjoyed what I could see. I did know there was a second showing of Paint the Night, and I was like starting to poop out a little bit, but I'm like, you're going to be so mad at yourself if you don't. So, I did get a ride on Buzz in.
Of course.
Because I was not going far into the park because again, the odds of Paint the Night happening were lower. And then I kind of just am like near the partner statue. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll take some pictures there. And I kind of like look, I'm like, this actually might be a pretty good spot to watch Paint the Night. Because I had done it right in front of City Hall in the fall. And that was a really good spot.
Okay.
But I was like, it's coming the other way because it goes down one way and it comes back the other. Like, it's coming the other way. And I end up kind of like sitting down near this family, and like this one lady, we just start talking around Disney and whatever. And she's like, no, this is like the best place to watch it. She's like, because like when Mac comes at you, like he's coming right down like at you. And it's like just some curb space in front of the partner statue. And it's like, it's kind of nice because you don't really have to tuck your legs in that much because like they don't come this close, because I was right next to where the rope was for like roping off the other part of near I wanted to call it the hub. I guess it is still a hub, but it's not the hub in the way we have our hub grass and on Florida, but like
Right.
in front of Jolly Holiday.
Mhm.
So I'm like, did I just like look into like the best spot? And oh, honey, she did.
Oh,
There's
man.
so many little nuances. And I noticed, I'm like, huh, it's kind of interesting. I feel like there's some stuff that's a bit different because Paint the Night just came back after a little hiatus with all the Halloween and the holiday stuff. It wasn't running. So it was, and I
Right.
was like,
Which makes sense.
huh, and maybe I just wasn't paying that good attention. And this lady I'm talking to is like, no, like these are different costumes. Like some of these have been like plussed up since even September. Or I think they might have been there in October.
That's incredible.
Amazing. Paint the Night, just every single like time, it earns its stripes. Like it really earns like the reputation it has. And then this lady and her family are so amazing. Like she is like a true like Run Disney OGer. Like she did like the very like Frozen Goofy where like she was like, and she's showing me pictures. I'm just chatting with her. They were from Arizona, and like it was just like really like she's friends with some legacy runners, like just like pretty close to. She's like, yeah, I don't really do halves anymore. Like it's just I had to kind of give up on that. She's like, yeah, the last Walt Disney, like she had done several dopies. Like she's like, the last one I did was 2019. She's like that. She's like, I had to put it down after that and like be done. And I like we were just chatting like history of Run Disney, kind of the speculation around like the races and whatnot, and just it was just so fun. I kind of like it was great. There were villains around too, and like it's just so funny. It's just so fun, and just what an enjoyable like end to my night in the park. And again, it was a magical day that I was able to experience because basically like once Paint the Night left, it was like right about closing time too. So I was just like, oh yeah, and like I'm like in prime position because the parade has left where I am, and like I'm gonna just scoot out. I saw some villains, and I was able to walk back together in a group, so that was great. Back to the hotel.
Perfect.
And yeah, it was just a very magical end to the evening. It was one of those like you almost like don't want to go to bed. So what I did instead was like I started getting stuff packed up because I had plans in the morning. But I'll get to those in a moment. Because then I did have to leave on that Monday. So sad. But I got myself all packed up, got my luggage stored, took a weird circuitous route to try to get to the park because I was headed to Storytellers for brunch with one of the listeners, Brandy, who is the sweetest.
Fun.
And I had my little like suitcase of medals, my little briefcase that I was trucking around with me, and it was great because what I did was I was there early enough that I ended up going, and I did prove that the Disneyland monorail is not only one way. I knew it wasn't. I've taken the whole route before, but I basically got on at the downtown Disney station. Is that I've gone that way to go around and learned that the way I normally walk is better. It's faster. And I got on at that station, and then we went into Disneyland Park, and then I made the whole loop, and then I went over to the Grand Californian. Storytellers was so good. The company was my favorite part. It's character dining, but also especially Brandy. But we just like chatted it was great. I loved it. I loved everything about it. I loved spending some time with her. We get Chip, Dale, Minnie, Mickey, and Pluto at this breakfast. It is a buffet style, and they have quite the spread. I think my favorite thing was the Banana Foster French toast.
Ooh. That sounds good.
Oh yeah, it was good. Like they had a lot of good, unique, like kind of like the savory dishes too. But like that was because you get a little bit of everything. I got eggs, potatoes, bacon. I really, really rounded out this puppy. I did take a really small plate both times, which I was like, maybe this is just good for me to do. But it was amazing, and like Brandy had kind of told me her like little secret to getting her medals to stay with like kind of like zip tying them together so that they can all like because like it takes so much time to like pull out, and she's like no honey, like that's genius. But even I got a different tip later too. So she was flying out that day, which so was I, but her flight was a little bit earlier. She didn't have park tickets, so I ended up heading over to Disneyland Park because I was a one-track mind, and it was called Metal Monday.
Of course, what you have to do.
Especially I was dopey to Dumbo. I had to do it.
Mm-hmm. So here's my question. How heavy was your little metal briefcase? Because did you bring your dopey medals
Oh,
with
of
you?
course I brought my Toby medals with me.
Yeah.
Heavy.
So I was going to say it had to be like, I mean, several pounds.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I, I should weigh it, honestly.
I would like you to, because I would like to know. 'Cause that's a lot to be carrying around with you all day.
Yes. And I just had it in its little briefcase, and like it, like the metal case was like full to bursting.
Yeah.
It's meant mostly for like 7. Like I fit. I fit. It was 11 total. One of
Oh.
them was around my neck, but the coast to coast was around my neck. But so it was 10 total in the case, and like it's not really, especially the bigger they get. And it's kind of nice that the Disneyland ones actually were a little bit smaller and a little bit lighter. I'm like, oh, thank God. Thank God.
Like, please not more.
Yeah, because guess which ding dong later had all 6 dopey medals in her weaker hand to carry. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. Good times. But I made sure I got my train
Mm-hmm.
station when I had like the whole spread of all 11 across my arms. And then I mirrored what I did when I did Goofy to Dumbo. And that was the back-to-back weeks where it was right in front of the train station to like the right. And like I kind of got like the train station in the background because I remember looking, because I think at that time I borrowed someone else's medals where they were like taking, like, okay, we take the dopey one off and like whatever the other 2 races that I hadn't done. And I was like, this is going to be me. This is going to be me one of these days. When I do get to do a dopey to Dumbo, I will do this. And I was like, wow, like I have all
Yes.
11. And I had some like little kids who were like very curious what the heck I was doing and like what these things were. I'm like, what are these? And I was explaining to them, like, well, I did a lot of running. A lot of running. Like, a lot. And just explaining what was going on to them. And they're like, what are you going to do with them? I'm like, well, I'm going to put them away. Because I was starting to take them down after I got my pictures in front of the train station. They're like, oh. It was so cute and funny.
So cute.
So freaking cute. So I go into it and like I'm a little like already overstimulated in a way. Like I'm just going to have Coast to Coast, Dopey, and Dumbo to take in front of the partner statue.
Mm-hmm.
And then I see people who have them so perfectly lined up. And like the medals have gotten bigger, dude. Like they've gotten bigger and chunkier and like heavier. And like I love that for us. But like at the same time, like in terms of trying to get them and fitting them in all. Because I remember my first Dopey doing the medal Monday and like having all 6 in one hand and like holding on for dear life at the time. And those ones are small compared to the way they are now.
Wild. That's absolutely wild.
So I go up to someone and I'm like, how are you getting them all lined up in that way and staying that way? And they have these little like clips. So they're basically clipping the ribbons to each other. And like, they're like, yeah, Amazon. And like, I just expect them to tell me because I just am asking that. And she's like, she just gives me a handful. I'm like, oh, this is girlhood.
What?
Give me girl. Like she has this like gigantic bag. She's like, here, you go. I'm like, this is girlhood. Like Run Disney is girlhood. And like no matter your he, the she, they, etc. Like it's like girlhood in the purest way of just like friendliness and wonderfulness and just lovingness. And I'm like, oh, thank you so much. And like I'm like kind of like watching how they do it, and like that's how I got all of them stacked up in the way I did. And wasn't like I was still kind of holding on for dear life, but like not as much as normal because like I had some slack and like it was a little bit of a trial and error process with it. And that's how I got them all. Again, it was my arms were shaking, absolutely freaking shaking, and trying to carry them. So I'm glad I've started strength training now. Got like beautiful pictures in front of the castle, kind of like holding them out, and like again, like the people I was like, I'll take some of your pictures, whatever. Like, oh no, we got you too. And I did do some with PhotoPass, and like again, it was just it's girlhood, like in the purest way.
I do really like the idea that you're strength training to hold all your medals.
God, I think I would break if I tried to do like all of them. But like I was even thinking like, yeah, like I was like, damn, like I definitely need to do better with this. Cause then I had him over my like shoulder too. That's another really great picture I'll need to post. I took a picture of somebody else because then I had all the dopey ones. I'm like, hey, like, do you want to borrow them? They're already like literally stacked for you. Like, do you want to take a picture with them? They're like, oh, sure. Because I'm like, okay, like not everybody. Because I was like, yeah, I didn't bring them all with me. I'm like, do you want to? I was like, this is literally like magic wizardry to like pin together. Thanks to the help of other people who are smarter than I am.
That's what it's all about.
I accidentally pocket FaceTime my mom. too. And I just hear my mom's voice. I'm like, what are you? Oh, while I'm in line for medal photos. But because I then go back to the partner statue with all 11 of them, like, or I'm holding 10 and with the coast to coast around my neck too. And I was like, yes. Then I'm like, okay, one track mind, need to go to DCA, need to repeat the process. At this point, I'm a little bit overstimulated with it, if I'm being real with you. I don't see a photo pass in front of Mickey's Wheel of Death. And I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do now? And then I go to Avengers Campus and I'm trying to put them all together. And I just feel sticky at this point. And I'm like, I'm done. And I'm just taking them with the Disneyland one. Because then that's also part of something that I'm like, it's like the half marathon medal, the marathon medal that gets forgotten because you get if you do dopey, because you get the dopey medal. Like, right. I never end up,
Makes sense.
Like it's like I never really standalone wear the half medal.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one of those things where I'm like, yeah, it's like, and also like when you do dopey to Dumbo or goofy to Dumbo, it's like the whole stack of these kind of get forgotten too, because it's like if you're doing the whole spectacle of all of them, well,
right.
So I did get some pictures with just quote unquote those medals, and then at a certain point, I was so ready to just put them all away. I was like sitting in front of where World of Color is, like in that kind of like some of the bench areas, and I'm like just putting them away. I'm like, oh, sweet Jesus, this is so nice to just put them away. I got a couple pictures and stuff, but at that point I was kind of done. I was gonna go re-up my churro toffee stash before I left.
Of course.
At some point during the weekend, I definitely got like a free glacier freeze from that area too, because they just had made an extra. I'm like, sweet, thanks.
Nice.
It wasn't at that point; it was a different point, but. I stop by and what I end up doing, again, this is like my little shtick now, is that I end up spending a little bit of time in the Grand Californian lobby, and then I do Uber back to my hotel, get my luggage, and then Uber away. But I end up just kind of like vibing in there for a little bit. Like last time there was a Halloween like treat stand in the Grand Californian lobby, so I got a couple of Mr. Natalie's treats for home, and I ended up stopping by the DVC booth because I was just chit chatting with them. They're really nice, and just, you know, I didn't realize until like that day that there was like, I guess like 70th postcards at all the different DVC. So each of the resorts, as well as 2 DVC stands, or there was a DVC stand in each park. So there was a different postcard at all of them. I didn't realize that until like that afternoon. I'm like, dang, that would have been such a fun little game to do, to get them all.
That's so cool.
I was waiting in line.
That would have been.
I was waiting in line for the partner statue photo the second time when I was told that part. I'm like, dang it, I do not have the time for this with all of these medals out right now.
Yeah.
But then it was last time to go home. So sad, but also like kind of one of those, like, I'm like not ready to go home because I didn't want to like leave the experience. But at the same time, I was like, yeah, like, I don't know. I'm like excited to kind of go back to my life in a way, and like kind of having had this amazing, incredible experience in this whirlwind of a weekend, the emotional joy and sadness, emotional whirlwind of sorts, where I am kind of like ready to go. It was my first time flying out of LAX after a Disneyland trip specifically. So
how was it?
It was great. I learned that there's an In-N-Out within walking distance.
Excuse me?
Yeah, I didn't have enough time for that because I would have probably left actually Disney property a little earlier because I was making the DVC guy like sweat a little. I'm like, yeah, my flight's in 3 hours. He's like, out of LAX. He's like, you need some time to walk, but like you can also like take like the internal shuttles and like get close to where it is. Like, yeah, like you can walk to it. Because I was like, could I get in and out? Because I didn't in and out this trip because, oh well, I guess I need to go back again.
Add it to the list.
But yeah, I have flown out of LAX before, like that side of things. I haven't flown directly after leaving Anaheim or like, Disneyland.
Right.
So it was so nice to have a direct flight. Again, 2.5 hours. I did ding at security because and all my happiness and lovely blah, blah, like, whatever. I didn't think to pull out. I had my medals were in their case. I didn't think to pull them out of my backpack.
Oh, yeah, that'll get you.
But in typical California, when the TSA officer was looking through, she was like, oh, these are so cool. Like, and that's like kind of how Omaha is too, where they're like, oh, what's that? And like I explained what it's like, oh, that's really cool.
I love that.
Like and the other TSA agent here is like, oh, I love your glitter all over your face. I'm like, thank you. Like, and I'm explaining the race weekends and stuff like that. They're like, oh, that's so fun. I'm like, yeah, they are going to go away for now, but blah, blah, blah. I'm like explaining like what's going on. They're like, oh, this is so fun. Like,
They're like, this lady's clearly not a threat.
I was like, oh, it's probably because as she's like opening my backpack, I'm like, it's probably my medals in there. And I was like, I have 11 of them. She's like, yeah, that'll do it. Because I figured I probably also wasn't their first, person to come through.
Right.
It's not the same as like when you go through MCO, like headed out where like they were like, yeah, 90-second runner, like this hour versus like, I think when you go out of Anaheim, they very much were like, oh, cool. Cause that's where I had gotten the advice to like take the holder out, just put it in. I've done that at the other times I've flown out of John Wayne. So I was just a little just like buttered up and just happy. And I had gotten the first class upgrade on my flight home. So that was kind of nice. And I had Wi-Fi on the flight. So I was just like, it was the fastest 2.5 hour flight in my life.
Yeah, I bet. Also, 2.5 hours. That's so nice.
It's so nice. It's so much less bad than you would expect. Like, I'm far west, man.
Yeah, when you put it that way, it's like, oh, wow, you really are.
I truly am living with the land. But yeah, that's a pretty good cap, I think. Doing a quick scroll through my tings to see, I think, one point of notice at the Omaha airport, they had we're under a big renovation right now, and I might cut this. But basically between Thursday and Monday of that week, they had torn out a lot of they had basically torn out like the ceilings and the certain wall, basically they yeah. And the terminal reconstruction is going to be, they're really making this become a real airport, but it was just I was flummoxed. I was flabbergasted. As I turned around to make sure I took a picture so I could show my boss the next day. I'm like, dude, did you see?
Yeah.
I was like, I swear this was different between Friday or Thursday when I was here and today. But it's funny just the way that people work here in a way they're fast. Construction's really fast. So in a good way. In a they work. But that's kind of nice when you have a more regional airport. Yes, it's really past 7-8 p.m. There's not a lot going on. If maybe there's just a couple flights going in.
Really nice.
So they have time to really work overnight. They have a good 8 hours to work overnight. So I think once this airport's done, it'll be really good. It'll be a real airport almost.
I like that you call it a real airport. Yeah.
Eventually it'll be a real airport. The Chicago in me.
It has dreams.
I have a dream, and it's man, if I had a little bit more creative juices, I would make an I've got a dream little quip here. But are there any other questions that you have for me?
Oh, I do have a couple. Yes. So I feel like we did cover some stuff, but of the weekend, and I feel like I could probably guess this, but of the weekend, did you have a favorite course to run overall?
The 10K.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be the 10K. I love all my little children's here, but it's got to be the 10K. It's the creme de la creme, which I had listeners come up to me like, oh my God, when I ran past Lamplight, I smelled the barbecue. And I was like, yeah, no, she was not kidding when she said it was the creme de la creme. I'm like, it is.
I love that. That is you're doing a good job of convincing me to maybe come out of retirement one day. But on that note, let's take a bet from you. How long do you think it might be before the races come back? Let's say they're coming back. Mm-hmm. Let's be optimists. If you had to guess, when do you think that would be?
4 years.
4 years. That's not bad, honestly.
So I think that Disney's going to want as much of this construction done as possible before LA hosts the Olympics. Mm-hmm. That doesn't necessarily mean Run Disney will be right back. I also don't know enough about how Anaheim is operating. So this is purely on a Disney standpoint. This is purely thinking about Disney. Right. I think if they can get things so that they can restart on Disneyland Drive the way they used to, and Disney Way, and that's where the start line is over near where the hotels, the 3 hotels are. I think that you know, I think that I think it could happen. I really do. I don't think it's going to be quite as bad, because one of the points that was made to me was kind of like, this is like the 15-year of the legacy runners, like basically with the break included, whatever. And it's like, it is good to end on a 15. Like that is pretty
True.
round, like a good like number to end on. But I don't know. I think it'll be 4 years, because I think it would be like, I don't know. We got Josh at the helm, and guess who did the first 10K back at Disneyland? Josh D'Amaro did. So Mr. CEO, man, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, so I have run a race with Josh D'Amaro, who ran way faster than me, and I think I was probably still playing in California Adventure when he finished. But
Oh man, are you gonna make me be a Josh fan if he brings back races?
listen, I'm gonna have to
Are you
battle
gonna
with that
convert
myself.
me?
So yeah, when people are like, oh, what would you want Josh to do as a CEO? I'm like, well, he was already head of parks, and like he would have had more authority in that way, but okay, sure. Disneyland races, Paris races.
Disneyland races. That's a big one.
That's my other Delulu hope, is that because these are on pause, is that we are going to, that Castle to Chateau will come back, which F me if it does. Because I'm going to have to do it.
Yeah, you're in
I'm in
trouble.
so much trouble if that happens. Like, we're going to have to, it's going to have to happen. So, because all, Disney Adventure World opens next month.
Wow, that's right.
A lot of that construction's done. Mm-hmm.
Oh, it could happen.
And we got a big D23 this year. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's just,
Oh.
I'm manifesting, and like then like we'll have like a join together coast to chateau. I think 4 years. I think 2030 is like kind of like a good. I think that feels pretty right, because it's the year after an anniversary year for Marathon Weekend. So that's when Disneyland races came back this year. It was 23 was the Dopey anniversary, the Marathon anniversary. So the next one will be 28. I think I'm giving him a year buffer. That's why I'm like, that's actually 2 years after the 28th anniversary. I'm giving him a little buffer year, It's a little bit after that. And I don't know. I think 4.
I think sounds like a really solid, logical guess.
Okay, it's also what I want.
Yeah, but look, you've got good things to back it up.
It's the I Want song. Okay. Everyone deserves a chance to fly. That's not an I Want song.
Boy, do you deserve another chance to fly down the course.
Exactly. And I'll stand there with the wizard, feeling things I've never felt.
Run Disney and I.
I'm gagged.
All right, so weekend as a whole, is there anything that you want to especially shout out Run Disney for doing a great job with this time? And on the flip side, is there anything that you're like, okay, hopefully 4 years from now these races come back, this is something I would like to see them tweak?
Ooh, those are good ones. I'd say this isn't something Run Disney necessarily did, but the people, obviously the community. That is why we do crazy things like go Dopey to Dumbo, and we, like do these wild things. Oh, I forgot to bring up, sorry about the half, is that I got a cake pop from a villain. Sorry, I just felt like we couldn't end that with like, there were some villains who like were like, hey, we have a Starbucks cake pop. I'm like, oh, it's a villain. I recognize that villain. I'm like, I'll take it. Where I was across the median from them. So like they had to hand off the cake pop, and I ate a cake pop. That's
incredible.
But yet
that's your best like fuel.
It honestly, it hit
so far. I think
it hit so good. I was close enough to mile 10 at that point. I was like, I'll probably be fine.
You're fine.
Yeah, we're not racing for speed, but it was really fun. But anyway, I think it's the people. It's just the people, the community, everything about that. I would say in terms of what they can improve upon, I think that, having like figuring out some sort of a solution to, if you're going to stack all the corrals back to back, like better audio in the back. Because like actually where I start and see at this point, where the Walt Disney World races, that's where the worst audio is, because it goes B, C, D, goes like kind of like the last corral at Walt Disney World is the one closest to the start chute.
Right.
So I at least can kind of hear then, but like I can imagine back in I, you couldn't really hear much. I figured that something with the merch situation, I heard, this is more speculation nation, is that they didn't set a limit on pre-order for this one. And that's why a lot went to pre-order. But also, I have some questions about that. And so I think that like if there is a way to do something a little bit better with that, I know that they're so limited on space that there's not really a way that we can do what we want with like only one Dumbo for whatever, or like, but I don't know. I think if they could like have some of the Dumbo merch held back for Friday, because you don't have to get there till Friday if you're doing Dumbo Double Dare. So if there is a way, I understand also they don't have the same luxury of space as Walt Disney World does with the entirety of the ESPN Wide World of Sports. So I think that some of those like little things, again, I'd say having been at the first weekend back and now to this, like, and I had a lot of fun at that first weekend. If I thought it sucked, I wouldn't have come back. Like, I don't understand people who like hate certain weekends and still go do them. Like, just save your money and stay home. Like you could probably, like, I don't know, I guess if you want coast to coast that bad, but like, I don't know, whatever, what have you. But my thought is that I thought that there were tons of improvements where they have taken that feedback. They have taken, there are more PhotoPass photographers. They included the photos this time. There's a lot of feedback that they've taken and improved upon. And I think that, we kind of keep moving forward. Like this was their 5th event back and they're, I thought they did a really good job. Like they do well with the production. There are just certain limitations they have at Disneyland. And you have to accept that, like, you're not going to be able to pose with Sorcerer Mickey in the parking lot after the race. That's just how it goes. Like, yeah, would it be sick if they had like a cider van? Like, yeah, but they are also this thing called liquor licenses where like the Epcot parking lot that they own, like there's just these other things.
It's very different.
Like,
yes,
there's different aspects of it where it's just different. And it's okay to celebrate our differences. That's what makes us all great. That is what, celebrating our differences is a wonderful aspect of things, and like seeing the joy in what your experiences can be instead of just comparing like and seeing the glass half empty.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so last one for you. I know that obviously the community was a big plus. Like that keeps coming up as like, a huge part of what made this weekend so special. And like, the connections you make and all of that and the friends you make throughout these races and this Run Disney community as a whole. But if you had to take something besides the community that would be sorted for you as like that joy core memory of the weekend, what would that like moment for you be?
Oh, that's a really, really good question. I think I might have to go to that opening with the opening to the 5K. Best day of my life. The memory orbs, the production, the fireworks, the starting by the castle, I think that's it. I think that set the tone for every wonderful experience I had after.
Oh, I love it.
And I mean, yeah, like I feel like the music in general, like, yes, we had to listen to a lot of Figment, which I don't mind. And I literally laughed at the whole time, but like that down to like the rendition of It's a Small World they played as the final finisher came in, the music is so important. It's like the lifeblood of like the heart and the soul. And that's how I feel on the East Coast as well. The heart and soul of like art. And it is an art form, and dang, just Disney, do it. Bring back Harmonious.
Nice.
They do it.
I love it. I love that. It just seems like such a special weekend overall.
It really
like, truly, just so much.
There's a reason why I left Halloween weekend going, I have to do this again. I have to, because that first weekend back, I'm like, I had a lot of fun, but like, I don't need to do this again for a little bit, where it just clicked, and it just clicked. And I felt like at Halloween, like, again, the production, I loved it. It was just amazing.
Oh, I love it so much.
So ta-ta for now, in a way, is how we'll have to close this story. But I think we'll see a sequel. I guess at this point,
Yeah.
it's the third. It's Shrek the third. Oh no, no. Well, okay, the Shrek the fourth is the worst one, IMO. I think it's worse.
Yeah, well, it's still a competing property, so.
Indeed.
It's like Return of the Jedi.
Listen, okay, because I was going to say Revenge of the Sith, but then Mr. Natalie probably would have popped out of his hovel like, hey.
Don't.
Well, thank you for joining me to recap this.
Thanks for having me. This was a lot of fun.
We'll have to do it again sometime. Thanks again to Maz for joining me as I relived all the memories of Disneyland Half Marathon Weekend. Missed it already in a lot of ways. But now it's time to brush off that tiara, and because it's a nice princess focus from here on out. Yay. If you enjoyed listening to the show, please leave a review and a 5-star rating. We'd love reading your reviews out loud. You might even be featured on a future podcast episode. There is a community spotlight on the Instagram at Stride Sisters Podcast. If you want to be featured for a Medal Monday, Finish Line Friday, or any accomplishment you want to celebrate, send a picture via the social media platforms or the email. And to continue the fun, join the Facebook page. All the ways to connect can be found in the show notes. Thanks for listening. Until our next adventure, we're wishing you endless smiles of magic and memories. See you next time. Yes, a lot just went on in that last couple seconds where, yes, I'm Donald Ducking it. Yes, I had just unplugged my printer because I thought the idea of having to edit that out, because it's fine when you're speaking, but because I can mute myself. When I'm speaking, it's going to be like Adam in the smoke detector.
I was just going to say that. Poor Adam's legacy.
I would actually expect the Dillos to say something about that. Like, be like, what the smoke detector's going on here? But yes, I have a blanket on my lap instead because I didn't want to put more pants on.
Yeah, no, I respect the move.
And yeah, I just unplugged the printer because...
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Not worth it.